Murder trials underway in Italy, the case prompting street demonstrations across the country and the introduction of new laws aimed at protecting women.
Giulia Cecchettin was just one of the 120 women killed in Italy last year, most by their former or current partners. She was 22 years old and about to graduate when she told her boyfriend she wanted to end their relationship. Filippo Turetta then stabbed her more than 70 times. He was caught and pleaded guilty, and his trial is not expected to last long. But Giulia Cecchettin's death prompted a debate in Italy which continues to this day about whether the country has a deep-rooted culture and tolerance of violence against women.
The BBC's Paul Moss. Lithuania signed a deal with U.S. ammo producer Northrop Grumman as it seeks to increase defense capabilities in the shadow of Russia's war in Ukraine. Lithuania remains the largest buyer of U.S. arms among the three Baltic states. News and analysis, townhall.com. There's a new White House-related attraction in the nation's capital.
The latest tourist stop here in Washington opens this week and features a life-sized replica of the Oval Office. It's called the People's House, a White House experience. It's located just one block from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and admission is free. It's a technology-driven education center sponsored by the White House Historical Association. In addition to the Oval Office replica, there's an immersive theater that transforms into some of the more notable rooms in the White House every 5 minutes. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Cost of a cup of coffee could be going up. Brazilian coffee farmers have been grappling with above-average temperatures as the country, the world's largest coffee producer, faces its worst drought in more than 7 decades. And Vietnam, which is the second largest coffee producer, also experiencing heat and drought affecting its coffee crops. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes.
Welcome to it.
There's no such thing.
And then I got a cold.
Struck down, man. Everybody's getting hit right now. I've been talking to Ayana in the chat. She said her fever just broke thanks to a hot shower, but kids are homesick today from school.
Oh, man.
I mean, everybody's just kind of feeling
That's how
something.
I feel.
Yeah, it's in the air for sure.
I got it from my wife. She was feeling it last week. Friday, matter of fact. That's what we, by the way, had a great time at the Liberty on Friday.
Absolutely.
Great show. Great turnout. Great crowd.
Fantastic turnout.
Sean did amazing. So did Clay.
Clay was
great
Clay
show.
was hysterical. I mean, it was one of those shows that had a lot of different elements to it. Kind of moved around a lot, and it kept you wondering what was next. It was very interesting. A lot of really cool visual element too, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it did a lot of Tonight Show-esque style humor. But
I'm trying to figure out what's going on over here. We're at black on this screen, but over here we're the split screen's working on the feed. So.
Yeah, it must be.
I'm so confused.
Seeing TV.
But without getting into financial details that I heard, it was a smashing success.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, we're actually going to see, I think, Crystal in the 9 o'clock hour. Unless something, her and John are, had an issue over the weekend.
She finally, what I gathered on Saturday, had a chance to sleep a little bit.
Oh, good.
I don't want to pull the curtain too much, but it was kind of funny. She's like, yeah, I'm really glad that that it's finally, we're through it. She's like, but I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
So now the gears are turning for what's next.
I was say she's got the bug and she's going to keep going.
And how do we make something happen again?
But thank you to everyone that came out and supported the Humane Society on Friday. I hope everyone had a great time.
Yes.
And but yeah, y'all did a great job. But my wife was feeling kind of cold, and by the time that thing ended, that's why she was kind of ready to go. And I said, I could look at her. I was like, yeah, let's get out of here.
Oh yeah.
So,
no.
But yeah, I acquired her cold about yesterday, late afternoon. I started getting the tickle in the throat, and about 10 o'clock, I'm in bed, and then I'm like just hacking and everything. Like, here we go. So
the engine has now begun
my
running.
head's stuffed up.
Yeah, there's definitely something in the air. And by the way, I guess welcome to fall.
It is officially fall.
First official day of fall was yesterday.
Yeah,
Yep.
on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Although, like, all the rain talk is gone now. Like, there was like chances of rain like today, tomorrow.
Yeah.
None of that's like on the no. And then it's like I saw 90 twice.
I know. I saw it too. But at the same time, it was 53 when I got in my car this morning. Like, I very seriously considered reaching in my backseat to grab my hoodie. But I'm like, not yet. We're not going gently into that good night just yet, young soldier.
But yes, it is getting cooler, but I was a little disappointed. I was like, oh, where'd our rain chances go? Oh, why is it going to be 90?
It's a dry cool. Yeah, no, yesterday was so confusing because it was very cool in the first part of the day.
Yeah.
I actually was walking around like, this is perfect. The sun was shining, but it was cool. The air was not like heated. So it was quite nice. But then right around midday, the sun started like beating down and it got hot.
The humidity kicked in then.
We had a birthday party yesterday, and the argument was, is there still time to put up the water slide? Because, well, at first we were like, no, we drug it back into the shed because it's too cold. Then the sun came out, it started getting hot, and we drug the water slide back out and filled it up. Now, sure enough, the water slide worked and kids got on it and stuff. But as soon as, like, for example, Hunter went down the slide, he hit the water and he goes, "It's freezing!" Like, well, you guys chose to do it. Nobody's forcing your hand.
This is the, repercussions here of doing that. But, well, good. So, kids had a good time at the party.
They did. We got them all dried off, warmed up, and apparently now they're sick. So maybe it was me. Maybe I'm the problem.
Well, yeah, but actually, they had it coming. They were getting all close proximity, passing germs each other. It had nothing to do with the water slide.
Yeah, totally. They'd stop having that face-to-face deep breathe off.
Yeah, but that's what I was like, because I knew my wife, and I'm like, oh man, Friday we're sitting, I was like, man, when's it gonna be my turn? Because I know it's not. I'm not gonna avoid it. Yep. It's gonna hit me, and I was hoping I'd get a little bit more time, but last night I was like, oh man, that's too soon. It's not fair.
Do you ever just like consider like a week before she's probably going to give something to you, just going up to the school and observing symptoms? Just like, all right, so runny nose, itchy, watery eyes. Just jot that down. That's what I can expect.
Right. I just wanted to walk through and see what I'm going to be getting soon.
I'm just walking into the petri dish, seeing what's going on.
I like
kids, and I know. We just got through a very painful pandemic, and for a lot of kids, this is going to be that like, you know how like 9/11 was for my generation, that crystallizing moment of like, how things changed, and we were there. I know that we're through it now, sort of. Wash your damn hands. Please keep washing your hands.
Sorry. Don't use your hand as a Kleenex. That's the other thing. But anyway, happy Monday.
Yes, welcome to it.
But yes, big success on Friday. Thank you to everyone involved and that came out. And like I said, we'll probably get a chance to talk to Crystal a little bit about it in the 9 o'clock hour today.
Did a drive-by of the convention center over the weekend. Followed a day sale. Looks like it was a big success as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get in there. But
I didn't get in, but I saw the parking lot was packed for both days. So,
wonder if they have pumpkin rolls.
I don't know. You know what? I looked it up and I missed, but they used to do these. It wasn't followed. It was the holiday magic.
Yeah,
they used to do.
They do the pumpkin rolls.
They definitely do the pumpkin rolls. But they used to do this thing called the Roswell's Famous Fours.
Okay.
And it was a big deal, like a decade ago. And I remember, every year they'd come on and talk about holiday magic, and they would always talk about Roswell's famous fours. I don't know who it was that made them. I'm sure somebody out there could probably answer that question.
I kind of know what you're talking about, but I kind of don't.
As I remember, it was like 4 different like types of like cakes, and it was like split into this like box. But they just disappeared one year, and I asked, I was like, whatever happened to the famous fours? And I got kind of I'm like, okay, we won't talk about it. But I think enough time has passed now where I can ask questions.
What's the skinny?
The statute of limitations has been lifted on this one.
We do not speak of the famous fours.
I just want to know. What happened.
You've opened a can of which we cannot reseal. You've caused, you've unleashed Armageddon among us.
The official opening of the can is if I were to go on Facebook and ask, because that's the ultimate old guy asks questions to crowd.
Do it. Do our modern day Beetlejuice and get out there and see what happens.
Oh, okay. Actually, the equivalent of that is if you've ever accidentally typed into the status bar on Facebook something that you were trying to Google and then hit like post. Yeah. And that's just on your page. It's like egg recipes. Nope. Sorry, Grandpa. It's 1 up. It's 1 bar up.
Have you ever done that?
No, but I've come close.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh, I'm in the search bar right, or I'm in the status bar right now. What am I doing?
I did do it once by accident. I did it years ago. It was something weird too that I was searching for. Like
see, that's the dangerous thing.
Yeah. No, it wasn't like dirty. It was just weird. It was just...
Co-eds after dark. Dang it, Mike. Spotless reputation.
Yeah, it was something a little different. So. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay an interview this hour. Chavis County Manager Bill Williams joined us on Friday to discuss county business. So we'll play that interview for you here in just a few. Next week, believe it or not, is the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. And we're going to have folks in all week talking about the fair. We're going to talk Ranch Rodeo in the 8 o'clock hour. Adrian's going to join us from the fair, and we'll talk about the Ranch Rodeo coming up October 4th and 5th. Of this year's fair.
I'm more of a balsamic vinaigrette rodeo fan myself.
I like a good Thousand Island Ranch rodeo.
Nice oil and vinegar rodeo. That's always nice.
I love good honey mustard rodeo.
Green chili ranch rodeo, please.
The raspberry vinaigrette. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Crystal and John Noble join us wearing their Roswell Seed hat today, and they'll give us an update what's happening at Roswell Seed. But like I said, we'll probably get a recap of Friday night and the Historical Humane Society event as well. Too. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include newses of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, and all that good stuff. But first, your weather. No rain. Sorry about that. But it is cooler than like in the summer.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure is parking over our area, and that'll hang around for a while. Low 80s on the afternoon high today. We should get some sunshine. A few clouds for the overnight hours with our low in the upper 60s. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting sunshine. We'll warm up a little bit. Afternoon high in the mid to upper 80s. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 80s on Wednesday, back to the upper 80s on Thursday, and sunny all week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 55 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 77% with winds out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today. High of 83 expected with winds out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 57 expected with southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny, 90 for a high. Yeah, I mean, it's just shouldn't be 90 anymore. It's not fall. Winds will be out of the northeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear. Overnight low of 60 with winds out of the north 5 to 10. Wednesday, sunny, 87 for a high. North winds at around 10 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny. Once again, highs right around 90. Friday, sunny, high of 88 expected. And then for the weekend, sunny and 89 for Saturday, sunny and 90 on Sunday. All right, it is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten, your Ballard and Lagrone Remembrance for today as well. And then on the other side, our interview with Chavis County Manager Bill Williams. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good September timber run this week with a nice selection of all classes of cattle, especially high-quality native calves, light yearlings, bred cows. We expect to sell 1,300 head, breaking down like this: 275, 300 weighing cows and bulls, 150, 175 pairs of bred cows, 800, 850 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 40, 45 cow-calf pairs, mostly black, white-face Angus and Brangus crosses with black calves. These pairs 2 to 10 years old. 51 bred cows, the Thornton Ranch, Pyote, Texas. Excellent quality red, white-face and Hereford and Tiger Stripe F1 cows bred to Angus and Hereford bulls. 4 to 9 years old. 82 calves, H-Bar Y Ranch, Buckhorn, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus crossbred calves, cattle wean 45, 60 days. Bovishield Gold 7-way, right off cake and grass, medium condition, and long age, 475, 600 pounds. 130 yearlings, David Dean Cattle Company, Marfa, Texas. Excellent quality 90% black Angus and Limb Flex crossbred yearlings, medium condition, right off grass, 675, 875 pounds. 30 calves, Braham, Hendry and Sons, Duran, New Mexico. Excellent quality black Angus calves, shots at Brandon, 400, 500 pounds. 20 calves, Mr. Jack Copeland, Pinon, New Mexico. Excellent quality black and red Beefmaster cross calves, 1 round of shots, 500, 625 pounds. 20 calves, Elk Cattle Company, Mayhill, New Mexico. Excellent quality black and black white-face Angus cross calves, cattle wean 50 days, 1 round of shots, 375, 475 pounds. 16 calves, Cynthia Clonch, Magdalena, New Mexico. Excellent quality black, white-face Angus cross calves, cattle wean 30 days, 400, 500 pounds. At 20 calves, the Snow Landing Cattle Company, Del City, Texas. Good quality 1/8 ear crossbred calves, wean 60 plus days, 2 rounds of shots, 350, 450 pounds. Sale time this morning 9 o'clock. Sell pairs of bred cows 10:30. Be selling calves and yearlings about 11:30 to 11:45. We expect to sell 1,300 head today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers Donald Burden Sr. passed away September 14th. Rosary will be Saturday, October 5th, 9:30 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church, with Mass following the Rosary at 10 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church. Virginia Gibson passed away September 14th. Visitation is Monday, September 23rd, 4 to 7 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Rosary will be Tuesday, September 24th, 9:30 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church, with Mass following the Rosary at 10 a.m. at St. Peter's Catholic Church. Letty Lee Bagwell passed away September 15th. Visitation is Saturday, September 28th, 10 a.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Service following visitation at 1 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Elizabeth Stefano passed away September 8th. No services are scheduled at this time. Oturo Ornelas passed away September 16th. Visitation is Sunday, September 22nd from 4 to 9 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Rosary to follow Sunday, September 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. at Ballard Funeral Home. Kelly Keith passed away September 9th. Graveside service will be Thursday, September 26th, 10 a.m. at McBride Veteran Cemetery. LaGrone Funeral Chapel celebrates and remembers Peter Morris, passed away September 9th. Visitation will be Monday, September 23rd, 10 a.m., with service following the visitation, 11 a.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel. John Groover passed away September 11th. No services are scheduled at this time. And Joanne Worthington passed away September 12th. No services are scheduled at this time. This has been today's remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Chaves County here, Chaves County Manager Bill Williams back with us this morning. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning. Good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you. How's life at the county this morning?
The life at the county is good. I was in Washington last week, so life in New Mexico is great.
Good deal.
In Roswell,
yes,
New Mexico.
For the moment.
Let's be a little more specific.
Absolutely. But, that's kind of, obviously election years make everybody pay more attention to what goes on in government things than even probably non-election years and things. But, obviously on the big scope of things, the county and the commission particularly do work on, bigger legislative and things like that. Right. But for the most part, their job's the day-to-day of running the county. And
day-to-day keeping things going. Well, for instance, have you driven down Pine Lodge Road recently?
Not in the last couple of days, but
okay. Our road department, they did kind of a surgical demolition and reconstruction of Pine Lodge in a very short window because that's become the de facto truck route, of course.
Sure, absolutely.
And they had a very good, solid plan. They got in there in a very timely manner. They kept most of the traffic. Unfortunately, people, including semis, will drive right around barricades that say road closed.
Yeah.
There were some of them.
They look at them as suggestions.
Yeah. There were some semis stuck out on Wrangler Road or Xenia or somewhere out there trying to turn around in the middle of nowhere. And they drove around 2 barricades. So what did they expect, But
at some point we're like, yeah, people need it. But then you're like, at some point you've got to own that you did things that created this scenario here.
It's kind of like The Office when Michael Scott drives in the river or into the lake because the GPS told him, well, it said, keep going straight. So I drove around the barricades.
I think there's one, there's like a car commercial where they have a GPS thing and it's got them in the middle of the desert and it says, now do the cha-cha. And they're in the middle of the desert doing the cha-cha and you're like, all right.
But that's the kind of things that we do a lot of times that people don't realize is we're behind the scenes. We're doing all these things constantly, doing road work, different things, different times a year, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happens locally. But like you say, we also, last week, the CFO, Annabelle, myself, and one of our commissioners, Michael Perry, went to Washington. And we feel like we were pretty successful in obtaining somewhere north of $4 million for the county in our PILT and SRS. As we've talked, PILT is payment in lieu of taxes.
That's right.
SRS, the secure rural schools, but we're on the Hill. I don't know how many offices we visited, but that's kind of interesting to go from the Rayburn building to whatever other building to the Senate side to the House side. And
DC's a cool city if you're there to not there all the time.
Well, it was an in and out trip kind of, and it was specifically designed. It was the PILT flying. It's National Association of Counties. So almost exclusively the western counties where all the federal lands are, go back there and petition for, hey, you need to understand the relationship between secure rural schools and PILT, and if this one's not funded, it messes with this one.
It's a delicate balance.
This is something you owe us, and like I pointed out, we met with both friends and foes, as you might expect.
Absolutely,
in Washington.
yeah.
And some of them were pretty high caliber people. Some of their staffers met with us, and it's like, wow, this office is really on the ball. And then this office, really?
Sure.
So that was quite interesting. But in all but one office, I think, it's just me. I says, if I were to go, or told them, if you were to go into your local county assessor's office and say, I know that my tax bill is this, but I'm going to give you $1 for every 10. I said, first thing they're going to do is laugh at you and throw you out because you don't tell them what you're going to pay. I said, but as the federal government,
that's exactly
what you do. You come in and you negotiate a lesser amount for taxes, and we have no choice in it. We have to take it or leave it.
Sure.
And so
it's like your boss telling you, you don't have to, but you really should do this here. And you're like, well, what do I got to do here? I better do it.
So they come in and tell us what we're going to accept for property tax, which is what fixes the roads and the schools and hospitals, all these things that are built in our communities.
It's like while you're cutting a deal, you're cutting resources.
Yeah. And that makes you and I have to pay more to make sure this happens.
Sure.
So I told them, I says, you guys were to go into your assessor's office, do that, they're going to throw you out. But say that they did accept your offer. Say that they did take your 10 cents on the dollar for whatever it is. What if you don't pay? Your property is going to end up on a tax sale. But as the federal government, you come in, tell us we're going to take a lesser amount, and then you don't even bother. I said, you're a bad tenant. We can't even throw you out.
Yeah. If we did this, we'd have a 0 credit rating and could not get anything.
You don't honor your deals. Yeah. And so you need to do that. And we talked quite extensively about getting payment in lieu of taxes in perpetuity rather than have to be funded each year.
Sure.
And then secure rural schools. It's currently in the Farm Bill. We're working on trying to get that out of the Farm Bill and passed independently. But the same thing. If they don't pass secure rural schools and they reach over to the PILT and steal it, and if you're a county, for instance, in Idaho or Oregon or somewhere that's all forest, you want to be sure Secure Rural Schools gets funded, because that's your big one. Chaves County, we have a very small amount of forest. We only get literally $39,000 a year in Chaves County.
It's not a huge impact for us.
It's not a big impact for us. It's a lot of acres when you consider what the tax burden is for 39.
It's an impact, but it's not as crippling as it would be for another county.
Yeah, 39,000. But our PILT is large. I think it was 3.8 million or something this year, or somewhere in that neighborhood. So if they don't fund SRS, we'll lose our 39, unless they reach over to PILT and take it, and then they fund our $39,000 100%.
Sure.
The problem is they reach into that PILT and they give that to all those counties that are getting millions that aren't funded here. So our payment in lieu of taxes then goes down to half or whatever. So and there's some counties that have absolutely no forest, so they certainly want to be sure that they separate those two and make sure that they run independently.
Sure.
So,
and I would also argue too that New Mexico, because of our economic and you look at the numbers, we're always 49th and 50th in all major things. Therefore, it's almost kind of like, okay, we have probably more PILT money than other states because of just the geography of the state and the what we're made up of. And therefore, we probably need more of these things. Like what I'm saying, I'm not a fan of government funding everything, but that's the system we're in here. And then, but I'm just saying, you look at everything in the big picture, and you say 49th, 50th, and all these things. We can't get the PILT money we're promised. We're all there. I'm like, do you not see this as all a big cocktail of causing that same thing? And everyone wants to say, all right, we don't have the right guy. Let's put a new guy in. We put a different guy in there, but the same things are still happening. And I think it's more of this kind of stuff you're talking about that's causing that.
We met with both friends and foes on the Hill.
Yeah.
And, some of them are absolutely got our back, and we're going to vote for that. And others are, we're trying to educate them.
I almost think this is almost the real problem we're having, even more so than what person is sitting in what position here sometimes, And so that's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of like, I'm in a weird way, I'm like, y'all, this is the stuff you should pay attention to. Yeah. These are the things, how they do what they got to do, despite who you put in office.
That's right. So, but anyway, we had a quick, we think successful trip. We are confident that we probably brought a little north of $4 million for our county for next year.
Sure. And then also too, it is an election year, and I'm going to guess people that normally wouldn't give you the time of day are more likely to give you the time of day.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been there, and
maybe not.
We went with 10 or 12 people from New Mexico from different counties a couple of years ago. We were there for another purpose, and 10 or 12 of us from New Mexico went to see all the New Mexico people, and some of them went out of their way to come and meet with us, and some of them told their staffers, no, just tell them I'm not available, and didn't even give them anything to tell us. So it's a real
I have
mix.
a huge problem with that, and I don't care who the person is or whatever, but when you're a representative of your people and your people want to meet with you and you just blow them off, that's a huge problem. I don't care what side of the fence you're on.
And like I say, we were all New Mexico people. We were all going to New Mexico
direct.
People.
You are in office to represent us. And if you will not meet the people you represent, you have no business being in that room.
Yep.
That's the way I see it.
So that was an interesting week last week. But Commissioner Perry, of course, he always does a real good job of learning about this stuff and educating people. And with his background, he's got a diverse background in wildlife because he was a game warden, retired game warden. And then he worked in the state land office, second in command there. And so he really understands from kind of a different point of view, from a state government level kind of thing. And
people have been in the weeds tend to know how the weeds work a little bit.
And, when we fight with the Fish and Wildlife Service over endangered species and those sorts of things, he really comes in handy because, he's a game warden. He understands when they're bluffing and when there's really a legitimate concern.
Absolutely.
As we talked about the Muleshoe National Wildlife Refuge, 6,344 acres on 2 parcels. Want $7 million or 7 million acres of land protection plan area. And of that, they want to purchase 700,000 acres in fee simple for the Fish and Wildlife Service to protect the cranes. Michael Perry's, what? For the cranes, the sandhill crane? And so he called his friends in Texas, Game and Fish Department, because this also affected Texas, which was kind of an eye-opener for them. They're
Okay.
not as used to the federal government trying to take
Sure.
private lands
They
away.
love the experience we have in those matters.
And so he called and said, "Is there something I don't know about Crane? I've been out of this a couple of years." He says, "No, Crane are not imperiled in any way." Then why are they trying to set aside 7 million acres? Well, as you and I have talked before, it appears that probably what they're trying to do is to stifle oil and gas, agriculture, industries, timber. There's no timber over in eastern New Mexico and West Texas, but still, that's what most
Sure.
of these things are designed to do, is to
It's the tactic.
is to take
And has nothing to do with the animal.
private lands, and that's why we fight against their 30 by 30 agenda, to take 30% of the nation's lands and water by the year 2030 and take them away from the people that they belong to.
They know it's better, not you. That's the mindset.
So I know you invited me in to talk about the agenda yesterday, so I better start talking about the agenda.
But no, this is stuff that, folks. This is what we talk about. This is why you need to pay attention. This is why when voting's so important. But if you do it without doing your research, then you really aren't doing the service correctly. So please understand the stuff.
Well,
and do your homework a little bit.
I was at a meeting of Desk and Derrick Club, Roswell Desk and Derrick's 69th annual industry meeting. I don't know the exact title of it. And they had a gentleman by the name of Daniel Turner came in and spoke. He was born and raised in New York City. He moved to Virginia, where he actually has a small farm. He raises sheep. He's got some miniature cattle. He's got, dogs that they do, and seemed like he had some other type of livestock, I don't recall. But his whole thing is exposing Washington's lies that are designed to kill oil and gas and energy. He says, he grew up in New York City, but he's lived in that area, and he sees all these coal mine towns that are gone because, they're a one-hit wonder kind of town. If coal mining goes, so does the
rest of everything else.
Yeah, so does the restaurant,
So does the
downtown,
money.
the grocery store.
Yeah.
And then your homes are worth nothing, but the bank still thinks they're worth that, and they expect you to pay it. And extreme poverty saw that, so they started fighting against these overreaches of the government that kill industry. Coal. He says we're still burning the same amount of coal. When a former president came into office, he said, "Oh, I'm not going to outlaw coal, but I'm going to put you guys out of business." And he did that, and he says they're still burning the same amount of coal. He says, just a couple of years ago here in New Mexico, in San Juan County, they, by stopping coal, hurt a lot of people, and that's our Native Americans, And so he brought all that up, how he fights for energy sectors and shows the ridiculousness of all this stuff. He showed pictures of solar fields in farms. He said, "Are you willing to give up your iPod or not your iPod? I guess I'm about 20 years behind.
Your iPhone or whatever.
Your gaming system and all this is all made up of stuff from oil. He was bringing that to truth. And he says that the energy used by these things, are you truly a greenie, or because here's how much energy that this thing that you like does, and so that was really interesting, because
peeling back
it's
layers here.
It's the same thing that we work with here from a different angle, and it was a really interesting talk, and encourage people to look him up online. He was really interesting.
Yeah.
But back to our meeting yesterday. I'm going to get there, I promise. Yesterday morning we had a proclamation, first and foremost, for Victoria Arnett. She's the first female,
Eagle Scout,
to receive the Eagle Scout Award in Chaves County.
Yep.
And it's kind of amazing. There's been over 2.5 million Eagle Scouts since the inception of that award in 1911. But only since 2020 have they started allowing females to become Eagle Scouts.
Yeah, it's just recent.
And so that's very recent. So she's one of a very elite group.
I would imagine there's probably under 50 in the country or 100 under the country right now.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And of course, anytime I write a proclamation, I learn so much about the person or the process.
Sure. And to be honest, to get Eagle in 4 years is impressive. Like, I'm going to assume she started around the time that they allowed females into the scouting. So, and you just, Eagle Scout is not easy to earn.
Yeah,
it takes time and dedication.
21 badges, 14 of which are mandatory.
Yes.
You have to do the community service project, plan,
Not only
organize
everything.
the whole schmo.
Yeah, including cost, getting material, whatever it is you're doing, and it's a whole thing. And then they have a board of review that they have to go through.
Right,
and
it's like doing your master's thesis, kind of. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah.
But
as an Eagle Scout, I know exactly what it takes.
She did an amazing job, and it was just really interesting. Her project was some landscaping improvements at the McBride Cemetery portion, whatever.
Yeah.
And, so that'll be a lasting thing for our community for generations.
Yeah.
People will utilize it and enjoy it literally for generations.
And those scouts will come and say, hey, when we were young, that's what we did.
Yeah,
and
guess what?
Yeah. Yeah. And then still there, the test, showing their kids, hopefully.
And, I always try to focus on what the award is for, So, the bulk of the proclamation had to do with the Eagle Scouts and the Boy Scouts and how it's structured and that type of thing. But then I started finding out about Miss Arnett and how impressive she is on so many other levels.
She has many other achievements than Eagle Scout.
And so, I made sure I put some of that in. I mean, she's at New Mexico Military Institute this year, and she's involved in everything. And 4.0 GPA is going to go to the Air Force Academy and study engineering. But that was a real honor to
absolutely.
To have that,
I believe
presented to her.
I believe her brother's in the Air Force, if I remember.
Okay, so
I know
her
Dad,
father and mother are Scout leaders.
Yes.
Her father and her brother are both Eagle Scout recipients.
Yes, I knew all that.
So it's like,
but I think her brother's currently in the Air Force serving. I think he is currently. I think he's a maintainer of some kind. I'm not really sure. I just see some pictures on Facebook from time to time, and so he's at his. He's in the military, and I feel like he's on the flight line as a maintainer of some kind. But I'm not
well, that's the very fun part of my job is when you get to do a proclamation for people, and we've done them for many, many people. Often we do them posthumously. Of course, I like it better when we can do something for someone who's here, and we're trying
especially
to
when you get to honor young folks like this.
I know.
Where they
she's going to be having so many honors for years.
I was about to say, we're just
have
seeing
a special room in her house.
She's like level 5. I imagine there's going to be some more coming.
So that was a lot of fun yesterday.
Absolutely,
seeing that happen.
Yeah, congratulate her and her family, and I'm a big fan of scouting, so it's awesome.
Well, I knew that you would definitely understand it and appreciate
as
what else
an
she's
Eagle
gone
Scout
through.
myself.
So.
And by the way, Eagle Scouts, they're like Marines. You're always an Eagle Scout. You're never.
Yeah,
you can never say former Eagle Scout. You earned the rank of Eagle. You're always an Eagle. So.
Commissioner Taylor was telling us yesterday, when you get your Eagle Scout card, it's signed by the President of the United States, and he was telling us that he knew someone that says, "Oh, I'm an Eagle Scout," and he pulls out his card and it's signed by Richard Nixon. It's like, whoa, that's been a day or two.
Mine is signed by Bush the first. Yeah. Mine is because I waited to get I joined Scouts, when I was 8 or 7, but I didn't get Eagle until I was like 17 3/4. So, and that was because life happened, and then I also I got to life like real early. Which is the rank before Eagle. And then I truly explored scouting. I went to Phil Mountain Scout Ranch, which I lived in D.C., which is a bigger deal.
This was quite a deal.
Yeah. I went to Australia as a World Jamboree. Yeah. I mean, I did scouting. And then I went back and said, you know what? I need to buckle down and get my Eagle.
You need to go ahead.
And that's what I did.
Well, congratulations.
After
learning what that's about, that's really an impressive thing. So, but anyway, that was a fun start to our meeting yesterday. Then we went into an ordinance. So, you listening close? This is technical. So, we had a public hearing for ordinance number 0116 to repeal ordinance 0100.
Okay.
Which approved a LEDA project and authorized the execution of an intergovernmental agreement and a project participation agreement with LEDA eligible expenditures for an expansion and construction of a frozen warehouse facility in Chaves County.
Okay.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
So, a few years ago, Leprino Foods wanted to build a new frozen warehouse.
Okay.
It's really cool, by the way.
By the way, it's a warehouse for frozen foods, not an actual warehouse that they freeze.
Oh.
Just to clear that up for people.
Thank
people are like, where's this warehouse with frozen warehouses in it?
They received money to build this fantastic, fabulous. If you've been to Leprino, you know everything they do. It's kind of awe-inspiring.
Absolutely.
You know, wow.
Well, security is like, you got to booty up and do all kinds of stuff just to even walk in the lobby. So,
but everything is, there's so much stainless steel and every joint is perfect.
Yeah.
And same thing in the freezer. The freezer is huge. It's got
when it comes
every
to
single thing
food
about
processing,
it
there is no corners cut, no safety, and so they go overkill with all that stuff. Absolutely.
So they received some funding to assist them with building their freezer and some other expansion that they did there a couple of years ago.
And I imagine the specs for that have to probably be a little bit more over the top than a typical.
It was really interesting.
Walk-in freezer or something.
They had because I did some of the inspection out there. They had a concrete company that has a proprietary way of doing concrete pours because it's frozen. And, the expansion, contraction because of temperature and heat, and it can't have any leaks. You can't have anything get in there.
Sure.
And they had a very special, unique way of doing that. And like I say, everything at Leprino is kind of really fascinating from an engineering standpoint.
You just can't do it. Like, everything's different. It's kind of like military. Like, you just don't walk into a room. You got to do these things Leprino's kind of like that.
So LEDA is local economic development monies, and they come from the state.
Okay.
And so if you can show that you're going to produce certain number of jobs, they often will help you with that.
Gotcha.
But there are stipulations. Now, you have to reach this many jobs by this date. You have to do this. You have to do this. And
you have to show you're actually doing what you say you're going to do.
So they don't give the money. The state will not give the money directly to the entities. So we have an intergovernmental agreement because we end up being the fiscal agent of this county. And so Santa Fe gives us the money, the local economic development funds, to be dispersed at these particular milestones and timelines.
You're basically the executor of this agreement.
And the project participation agreement then is between us and Leprino, and that's the one that does have the stipulations. We'll give you this much money at this benchmark and this much this benchmark. When you reach this, do this. So.
And am I assuming you guys have to do some report to state saying, yes, they are meeting these expectations?
Yeah,
and doing
there's a lot of reporting that goes in with it. And it's interesting. Leprino is a sort of a city of Roswell thing. So their grants that they've gotten and stuff have been through the city of Roswell.
Gotcha. Okay.
The city can go out into the county up to 15 miles, depending on the population of the city. They can go out into the county. I think it's up to 15 miles to take care of these projects with industrial revenue bonds. They can be the bonding agent.
And
the county cannot go into the city at all. We have to be outside in the actual county to do it. So when Leprino was built, the county could have been the fiscal agent taking care of the industrial revenue bonds. But the city chose to do that.
Okay.
But several years ago, the city would not do LEDA, local economic development, because of the paperwork that's involved. They said, no, we're not going to do all that work. They're not going to pay us to do it. Well, at the time, and I think that's changed now, but at the time, the county felt like if it's going to bring additional jobs to our community, that's additional money, additional spin-off jobs and stuff.
We looked at as
so we look at it as something that we contribute to the community, even though it cost us something to maintain and manage.
But the juice is worth the squeeze here, and that's why we're doing it. Yeah,
and so we are very happy to be involved with LEDA projects, and we have been numerous LEDA projects. We could probably have a whole show on just the LEDA projects that have transpired here in our county. So, in order to do a LEDA project, you have to pass an ordinance. In order to finalize it and close it up, on this particular project, Leprino's responsibility, because it wasn't a huge amount of money in comparison to some of the other projects they do, they said you have 550 employees, you have to maintain all 550, and you have to add at least 5 additional jobs, and we'll give you this, like I say, a smaller amount than some of the others to do this, to assist with this project.
Mm-hmm.
So they did that really quickly. I think Leprino's at like 576 employees or something.
Okay.
It's a huge impact to our community.
Yeah, they meet those requirements pretty easily.
And so
now, just curious,
because it was put in place by an ordinance, has to be repealed by an ordinance. So we had to go through this whole process.
So like those stipulations that that are put on Leprino, do they come from the state that you guys have to, or do you guys get some say in
No,
what
they
that is?
negotiate that
Okay.
through the state local economic development.
So basically, you guys are just literally we're
the middleman.
Yeah, you're the messenger.
We truly are the
who's-
middleman.
Yeah, exactly.
And of
Gotcha.
course, all the paperwork and everything that we took care of yesterday was requested by the state. They said, "Hey, you got to close this out." It hadn't been closed out. We had one for Ascent. We had one for USA Beef. Any number of.
Gotcha. I was just curious to see what input, or just nope. You guys are pretty much told this is what has to happen, and you got to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, that took place yesterday. Went off without a problem. There were nobody there we always say, is there anyone here in favor, anyone here against? There were people there in favor, but I mean, no one that stood up specifically and says, yes, I'm for this or I'm against it.
So it was relatively
so it's just a
housekeeping
sort of thing. Although an ordinance, you have to, ask for permission to advertise. It has to be advertised at an appropriate length of time. You have to publish the actual draft document that's going to be.
And that's all for transparency, and that's all public consumption.
Once an ordinance is passed, it takes 30 days for it to go into effect. So that if someone wanted to say, I'm going to challenge that, we're going to go to court. That gives them adequate time to do that.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's good that we do this. But yes, when you're trying to get things done fast, it sure seems to be a pain in the butt.
That sometimes there are literally millions of dollars that come through LEDA funds, and also I get crossing the T's and dotting the I's and making sure you follow all the procedures and you're open and transparent. And we're all about that. But this was a bookkeeping thing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I get it and all that, but I would rather have that than the converse of that. So
exactly. So we had a second public hearing, and that was to amend ordinance number 8, which is the Chaves County personnel policy.
Okay.
It's done by ordinance, and when we make changes to it, we have to go back and do a revision to the ordinance, which is what we did here. Nothing groundbreaking, earth-shattering or anything, just clarification of some terminology.
Gotcha.
Times have changed a little bit, so we changed a couple of processes, but the entire, the policy, I think, is 56 or 58 pages long. There's probably total of changes, maybe one page if you put them all on one page. I mean,
so it's like a line and something got edited.
Yeah, let's take this out. Let's say it this way.
Words were confusing, and let's unconfuse it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and times have changed, so we have to make some changes to
keep with the times,
fit with
evolve into the times it serves.
Right.
Yep.
So anyway, we did that, and there was no problem with that either. Of course, it'll be 30 days before it actually officially takes effect, just like the other ordinance.
Government, everything's slow.
So then we went into agreements and resolutions. Nothing real earth-shattering there. We had an agreement with Apex Solutions to expand our cameras at the detention facility.
Okay.
We only had 4 cameras on the exterior of the detention facility. Of course, the idea is that no one should be outside.
Right, the inside's more important than the outside. But
and we also never had secure fencing around it. We didn't have any of that, so you could walk in, you could walk around the building. But we've changed that over the last couple of years. Yes, everyone's supposed to be inside, but still, in the event that someone does get outside, we want to make it as difficult as possible for them to get over.
Well,
so there's razor wire. Something else we found out is, they have the rec yards around the outside, and people would walk up to enter, and they could go around to the building, and they had figured out ways to get contraband into the jail, so through the rec yards.
It was a security weakness
and so
there,
now if you go to our jail, there's an entrance, public entrance, and it's completely secured with Constantine wire and everything. So you can walk up to the door, you can go into a secure area, but you cannot get anywhere around the building, which you wouldn't think would be a problem. But
people are crafty, and if they're trying to
people are very, very crafty. That's well put.
Yeah.
That's well put.
People are very crafty, and
we've done that. We've enhanced the lighting. We're adding cameras out there now, and those cameras we don't have to have 40 more monitors now to monitor 40 additional cameras. They're motion sensor, so if something moves, that camera's going to pop up where in the central control where they can say, what's going on in this sector?
Yeah. That's life, folks. Mm-hmm. If you build the mousetrap, there's 20 people trying to build a way to get out of the mousetrap.
Oh, my gosh.
As soon as you build it. That's life.
Yes.
And so they constantly have to evolve and stuff. And where needs were good 10 years ago, there's new ways and things. So this is a constant. And I guess in 5 years or a couple of years, they're going to have to be evolving again to keep up with whatever the current issues going on. So
It's amazing.
Yep.
People are very crafty.
Absolutely.
Very resilient. When a problem comes up, they find a way around it or to resolve it, depending on what they're trying to do.
There's a reason there's a whole section of the internet talking about prison ingenuity. I'm just saying, there's a reason that's there. People, and it gets not only in the cells, but how to get stuff into the building and everything else. It's if you're looking strictly as a scholarly thing to watch, it's quite impressive.
It is. It is amazing.
Yeah, but we're short on time, so I better shut up.
Another thing that we did yesterday is we approved an agreement with Facility Build of Albuquerque to remodel. We bought the old I Associates Surgical Center, which is essentially a brand new building, and we're going to retrofit that for the Cooperative Extension Service for the 4-H programs.
They're very excited about that.
They're very excited, and we're very excited to provide that to them. I mean, of the entities that we support and help, they are certainly top tier, and
Absolutely.
they do so much for our community and for our kids here.
From growers to health to the kids and everything in between there. So.
We had 2 or 3 kind of housekeeping things, approving DWI funds and those kind of things that we do pretty much every month. We also... The county commission passed a resolution ordering the assessor to impose the tax rates for 2024, certified tax rates. And it's important to know that the tax rates do not come from the commission. They don't say, we're going to charge you $1. That doesn't happen. Santa Fe is the one that says, we're going to charge you $1 for this type of property or this type of property or whatever the case is. And then they send that out. The assessor reviews the numbers to make sure that they're correct on how much is farmland, how much is residential, how much commercial, whatever that is, and make sure those rates are correct, but they come from Santa Fe.
Gotcha.
And then the commission has to tell the elected assessor to impose those rates now for the next year's taxes.
So again, it's part of housekeeping.
It's a housekeeping thing, but it's something comes all the way from Santa Fe.
Dad told you to do this, you got to do this, so we got to take care of that. Yeah,
and again, it's a crossing your T's, dotting your I's. There's multiple I's. Look at that and make sure that there haven't been mistakes.
And this
made.
is when those mistakes come out, is through that gauntlet, and they get corrected. So, yeah.
We also passed a resolution in support of New Mexico County's 2025 legislative priorities. And there's a whole list of what those priorities are. There's nothing that we're opposed to. Certainly, it's things that we need to get the legislators to fix within our state so that our counties don't spend money.
You got time in that legislative session. Let's see if we can come up with some solutions for this.
Well, some of it, like one of them I remember was correcting some of the problems with IPRA requests. That's just gone crazy. If you're getting your master's degree at Florida State or something, and I don't know anything about this isn't designed to badmouth any college or anybody, just a random
of names,
and you're doing your master's degree, and it's about anything, say it's about the finances of counties. I can call you and make you do all the work for me to get my master's degree over here. But, you're pulling records, your statistics, all this stuff. And by law, we have to do that. It makes no difference what the reason is. So if you need a
public records,
a public record, you're entitled to it.
That's why they're called public.
and we're open and transparent. Certainly don't mind that. But as we found in recent years, that's just gotten out of hand.
Sure.
The city, the county, every other county that I know has hired someone specifically to do nothing but handle requests. And many of them are frivolous with open-ended requests.
Seems like an overuse of resources.
I would like every police report since 1976 to current having to do with traffic stops of Camaros. Well, they have reduced it to where that's overly burdensome. You need to be more specific, but it's things like that. They're trying to narrow it down where it's impossible to do.
Right.
And if you don't provide those records, then there are legal issues with that. So they're trying to help us to make sure that we can comply with the needs and still be open and transparent.
And I'm sure every single town and municipality, how their record keeping and archival of that stuff's been different over the years, and some towns are easier to get it than others, I'm guessing.
So 2 things real quick, because I know we're out of time.
Yes.
I keep talking. I say we're out of time, I keep talking. So we asked the commission if we could change the November meeting to November the 14th instead of the 21st.
So moving it up a week.
Moving it up a week, and the reason we're doing that is because the election has to be canvassed within 10 days.
Makes sense.
And so
kill two birds.
If not, we have to have a special meeting, special advertising to go in and canvass. So if we can do them both together, it just runs so much smoother and takes care of things. So we're doing that. The other thing is we presented to the commission the Department of Finance Authority approval of the Chaves County 2024-2025 budget, which has already been approved. This is the actual official letter saying
it's officially
you're good
approved.
to go.
Excellent.
So we gave it to them. They accepted it, and that's it. Thank you.
As
so
always,
much.
Appreciate it. We'll see you next time here. And, of course, go to if you missed any of the meeting, you can always find it at the county's website. You can go back and watch it in its entirety there.
Right. And, again, I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to encourage everybody to drive down Pine Lodge Road, which is the de facto truck route. And it's the best I've seen that road in my life. I worked down that road 10 years. Every day I drove down that road for 10 years. And it's never been the shape it's in now.
So come see
and
the
it's
new
still
road.
a limited, right away. There's only so much you can do with it, but
it's a country road, but much nicer now.
But you will be impressed, and they did it in a timely, quick manner, perfectly. So thank you very much. I'll see you next month or sooner.
We'll see you then. Thank you, sir. It is closing at 9 o'clock. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
Mexico State Police reporting crime statistics from their patrols of the New Mexico State Fair this past week. 52 troopers were stationed throughout the fairgrounds during the 11-day event. Officials said they made 14 arrests by state police during the fair and took 8 crash reports. One of the arrests was from a physical fight, which resulted in non-life-threatening injuries to one person. The New Mexico State Fair reports just over 517,000 people attended the fairgrounds this year. The Carlsbad Rehab Center, known as Carlsbad Lifehouse, will get a $1 million boost. The money comes from the fiscal year 2024 Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies Appropriations Bill. A workshop for the Roswell mayor and city councilors to discuss how to proceed with a resolution to adjust water rates that went into effect in July is scheduled for this afternoon at the Roswell Convention Center, 912 North Main Street. A review of the Water Department's operations, finances, and other related matters is also expected. High school football action Friday. The Artesia Bulldogs defeated Gadsden 57-38. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. We're learning more about the man accused of the second Trump assassination attempt, the one at Mr. Trump's West Palm Beach Golf Club. Federal prosecutors say the suspect had written a note months earlier indicating that he planned to kill the former president. Just over 40 days to Election Day, and with early voting already underway in some places, the presidential candidates are running hard.
As voting for the general election begins in some states, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are looking to blur the lines to woo independent and undecided voters. Trump says abortion laws should be left to the states, but says he supports a federal law to force insurance companies to pay for IVF. He also urged fiscal conservatives by suggesting the government cap credit card interest at 10%.
If Kamala Harris is reelected, she will kill the American dream forever.
Meanwhile, the Harris campaign has been trying to connect with moderate and disaffected Republican voters, with events on abortion rights, small business creation, and border security that feature Republican officials. Jennifer King, Washington.
After issuing a warning to residents of southern Lebanon, Israel unleashed a series of airstrikes on Hezbollah targets. Over the weekend, Hezbollah launched at least 150 rockets, missiles, and drones into northern Israel. One way or the other, former President Trump says this will be his final White House campaign.
Trump said he will not make a fourth consecutive run for the White House if he comes up short in this year's election. He told Cheryl Atkinson's Full Measure program that he doesn't foresee another campaign and that this year's run will be it. The 78-year-old Trump would be 82 years old in 2028, a year older than President Biden is now. Greg Clugston, Washington.
There is a congressional deal on a stopgap spending bill, keep the government running for the next several months. More on these stories at townhall.com.
We've been witnessing troubling signs that we're on the cusp of a major economic bust. High inflation, growing national debt, and global uncertainties are all flashing warning signals. Are you prepared for what's coming next? I'm Lance Wallnow, a Christian news analyst. And the Bible tells us that the wise man sees danger coming and takes precautions, but
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Left-leaning politician has upended Sri Lanka's political landscape with his victory. Those that did vote for him are hoping he will make good on his promise to be tough on corruption and revive the economy. Mr Dissanayake has already reassured international investors by committing to honour a bailout deal struck with the IMF after Sri Lanka was plunged into virtual bankruptcy 2 years ago. However, he said he will reduce the impact of its austerity measures on the country's poorest.
The BBC's Paddy Maguire. Rescuers have recovered the bodies of more workers killed in an explosion at a coal mine in eastern Iran. The recoveries raise the death toll to at least 38. News and analysis at townhall.com. U.S. jury convicts a Mexican man of involvement in the violent family business.
The son of a Mexican drug cartel leader has been convicted of charges that he used violence to help his father operate one of the country's largest and most dangerous narcotics trafficking organizations. Federal jury in Washington has convicted Ruben Oseguera of drug trafficking and gun charges. Oseguera, known as El Menchito, is the son of fugitive Jalisco New Generation cartel boss Nemesio Oseguera and served as the cartel's second in command before his extradition to the U.S. in 2020. Jason Walker reporting.
They're still hunting for the gunman who killed 4 people, injured 17 others. The weekend shooting at a popular night spot in Birmingham, Alabama. Police say the victims were caught in the crossfire during the shooting shortly after 11 Saturday night. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, everybody.
Yes.
Hope your Monday is going well.
Indubitably.
We are it's like the week before the next storm.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah.
And actually, it's the calm after the storm before the storm.
The next storm.
Because
Yeah.
we are coming out of one storm.
Yes.
We're heading into another crazy week. It's going to be...
of course, next weekend.
Yes.
Or this
it actually
weekend,
kicks off Friday.
Yeah.
With preview day.
Yes.
I was driving down Southeast Maine, and I saw him. This was like Friday of last week. Already hard at work putting things together. You know, it always makes me nervous when, the fair comes to town, because you got to make sure that those rides are secure,
sure,
locked in place. and obviously inspected. So they have to get the rides up earlier so they can pass inspection for preview day, which is this Friday.
So, yeah, they're doing all that now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they'll start trucking in the livestock and everything this week. All the entries will start coming in. And Monday, 1 week from today, will be the parade. And then it's fair on. So, matter of fact, we will talk fair this hour. We're going to talk Ranch Rodeo, which will be the 4th and 5th, those nights of the fair. So we'll talk that this hour. But yeah, if you go to enmsf.com,
yes,
that's the Eastern New Mexico State Fair's website. You can see the schedule of events, fair book, and
entertainment schedule.
Fairly certain you'll find everything you need.
There's a human cannonball this year.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm genuinely excited. So
I haven't seen those since like
thing.
circus days.
I love the human cannonball, but I think that we need to take it one step further. I think we need to bring back cannonball to the gut guy. That was such a huge thing back in the day. There was every different world, fair or whatever, or county carnival. There was dude taking a cannonball to the gut.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to be me. I'm just saying that guy's got to be out there somewhere.
Well, every video I've seen of those, the gut cannonball, it's usually big, beefy dudes.
Yeah, well,
that
we're all thinking of the Smashing Pumpkins cover, obviously.
Yeah, but everyone I think of is a guy that can handle, a cannonball, catching it to the midsection.
Right.
You ain't got no meat on your bones.
And the other thing is, every time you see that picture, they're always wearing like welder's goggles. And I got to imagine that's because it's probably pretty bright, right? The flash of a cannon fire.
Sure, the powder.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a powder blast. Something's got to propel the ball so they don't want to get powder burn in the face. Of course, that's the least of your problems.
Right.
But
it's just, maybe that's a relic of a bygone era, but I kind of miss cannonball to the gut guy.
I feel like all that started from Looney Tunes when the Bugs Bunny stuck his finger in the shotgun. in Elmer's shotgun. And someone said, we should really do that.
There was of course, the Daffy Duck trying to get the contract for the carnival. Where he's like, he basically swallows dynamite. The only problem is I can only do it once.
Yep.
Yeah, but that one time, what a show!
I think I need a Tums.
Roy comes over. He's like, so taste test? I'm like, Mike's kind of feeling the ick today. I don't know if we wanted to do taste test today.
Yeah, well, I have a cold. My stomach at the moment's not too bad. It's all cold stuff. I mean, let's do it next hour.
Okay,
let's try it next hour.
There you go. As long as Mike still has taste buds, this dog will
give it a try. Yeah, we've been doing it, and Roy's here. We've really been doing it.
I feel like Roy's like the 7-year-old that we've put off taking to the pool for like weeks. He just keeps showing up. We're like, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah,
we'll do it. Like it's like the Will C.
I can eat a cookie and take a swill of soda.
There you go.
That I can handle.
There you go.
Mike
Winter's taking one for the team.
That's right. Man, I forget how much you hate colds till you get a cold, and then you're like, oh. God,
this sucks.
It does.
And you are in the enviable position of being a married fella without kids because you get to go full blown. Now, well, assuming that Kim is feeling better.
Ish.
Okay. She's going to get to the finish line before you do. This is your opportunity to act like a 5-year-old baby. Okay? You need to whine, have her make you soup. You have gone the lengths and depths and breadths for this young lady. Time for her to make you some soup, sir.
In all fairness, she does the same thing.
I know she does. I understand that she does.
It is a two-way street.
But this is your chance. This is a very rare opportunity that men of a certain age get.
Yeah.
To go, I don't wanna. You have that chance this week.
You know what really bums me out? Do I have the energy to stay up to watch the game tonight? My team, the Commanders, play on Monday Night Football, and I'm like, so I'm going to start. I don't know if I'm going to finish the game, but I'm going to try at least, maybe I can get a nap today.
Instead of the NyQuil, pop Dayquils.
Yes,
just all day Dayquils.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wash them down with 5-hour energies.
And we got some the Mucinex D at the house, and that usually is pretty good. I went with Advil this morning because I didn't really feel it in my chest.
Right.
It was all in
in the head,
Yeah,
face
so-
space.
So, and that's helped a little. Like right now, I don't feel completely stuffed up. Now I'm just annoyingly stuffed up.
Right.
But before, I'm just like when I woke up, I was just like, I've got to be happy. How am I going to do this? Like, and I don't know if other people do this, but this is a thing I like to do. Like, I have a tub shower, normal, standard size tub shower. I will turn on the shower and sit in that thing in the tub like I'm just sitting there and just let that water, and I'll crank it as hot as I can
done
go.
That before.
Oh, that was this morning.
Yeah, I've
laying in
definitely
the tub.
I've done that. I've also, because I don't have a tub at this point. Mine is a stand-up shower.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll just turn the shower on to as hot as it could possibly go, and turn the shower head away from. So it's just
Steam.
A steam room.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
I was
like
sitting there and-
that when I get, but if I get down, if I'm sitting, usually the water is hot enough where it feels good and not like as soon as I stand up, I'm like, ooh, too hot, right away. But when you're on the, it's cooled enough in that 5 foot drop or whatever,
the bounce off the walls, and
But yeah, that was one of those mornings. I'm just sitting there on, just like the soap. But yeah, so, but it is that time.
Yes.
And this happens to me every time of year because my wife is a teacher, and and usually about end of September, October, and here we sit right about that time. I start getting this, and you can set your watch to it.
Yeah, and see, this is my placebo effect or whatever. Like it's when you're talking about this, that's when my nose starts getting itchy and
Right.
I'm starting to like have the scratchy throat.
Well, and that's what yesterday I was starting to get the sore throat, and I was like, this is just in my head. This is me. And then about 10 o'clock when I'm like, nope, it's not in my head. This is full on cold.
Well, apparently, like half of, like I was talking to Ayana earlier on the chat, half of her office basically called in sick today.
No, really?
Yeah. So it's getting around for sure.
I'm here. I'm not happy, but I'm here.
We're here because it's what we gotta do.
That's right. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We kind of already did, but I will give it more in depth this time. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Spoiler alert, it took away all the rain.
Yeah.
Just like sunny with upper 80s, close to 90 pretty much all week.
But very cool mornings.
But dropping down in the 50s and 60s in the more overnights, so that's a good thing. More fall feel. You fall. Then, of course, like I said, we're going to talk Eastern New Mexico State Fair here. We're going to have Adrian join us, talk Ranch Rodeo, which will be the 4th and 5th, October 4th and 5th at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair. So we'll give you the skinny on that. And then later on in the hour, we'll do local news along with your town hall business updates, your Red Market financial update, and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a gander at that weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure is parking over our area, and that'll hang around for a while. Low 80s on the afternoon high today. We should get some sunshine. A few clouds for the overnight hours with our low in the upper 60s. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting sunshine. We'll warm up a little bit. Afternoon high in the mid to upper 80s. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 80s on Wednesday, back to the upper 80s on Thursday, and sunny all week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 55 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 77%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of bummed. Like they were talking at the end of last week, like there was like 20, 30. I think there was even like a 40% chance of rain like Tuesday, Wednesday this week. All that's gone now. Sunny skies, 83 today. That's still a pretty nice day. Winds will be out of the southeast 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 57. Winds out of the southeast 5 to 10. We'll be up near 90 for your Tuesday. Sunny, 90 for a high. Winds out of the northeast 5 to 10. 60 for an overnight low tomorrow night under clear skies. Sunny and 87 on Wednesday with a high or with winds out of the north around 10 miles per hour. Sunny Thursday, highs once again right around 90 degrees. Friday, sunny and 88 for a high. And then this weekend, Saturday, sunny and 89, sunny and 90 on Sunday. So pretty much just sunny and 90 all week. That's kind of the thing. But 83 today. Enjoy that. That'll be nice. This is the cool day. It kind of warms up a little bit the rest of the week. All right, 8:17. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we will talk Ranch Rodeo and Eastern New Mexico State Fair with Adrian here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Over the next several weeks, we want to give you 5 key elements to a great marriage. This is taken from an article by Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The first one is ownership, taking responsibility for the good as well as the bad.
1 Corinthians 11:31 says, "Judge yourself so you won't be judged." It's talking about the judgment of God, but it also applies to our relationships, especially the ones that are closest to us, like marriage. If you'll just take responsibility for your own actions, it's so much easier for our spouses not to have to point out and criticize us.
So we have to take responsibility for our actions and our reactions, our attitudes and our mistakes. You know, most people would learn from their mistakes if they weren't so busy denying them.
You aren't responsible for what your spouse does. You are responsible for doing your part. So just decide today to do your part and take ownership.
Here in Roswell, we work hard for our money. That's why it's important to spend our money wisely. Hi, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When I walk through our store, I'm really impressed with the furniture we sell. It's so beautiful and so comfortable you could just feel the quality. This is furniture you'll be proud of for years to come. Furniture that your family will enjoy every day. Furniture that will last and last. Get the most from your hard-earned money. Come see us at Glenn's Furniture, where delivery is free since 1953.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
Who doesn't think the dentist is a big deal? I know what you're thinking. What will they find? How much will it hurt? What are my options? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and I am here to tell you that here at Carabelli Dental, it is our job to put you at ease. With options like sedation dentistry, you can rest assured that regardless of what dental work you might need, you can get it done while resting comfortably. Call our office now and speak to our knowledgeable staff about setting up your new patient appointment.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 1 in 3 snake bite victims is drunk. 1 in 5 is tattooed. Hold my beer and check this out. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, Adrian Ruiz back with us this morning. Good morning, Adrian. How you doing today?
Hey, we're doing great. Thank you for having us again.
As always, it's that time of year, when we think, this time, fall, we hit usually that first week of October. That's what's on our brain is Eastern New Mexico State Fair, and we are, officially 1 week away from the start of the fair, but unofficially less than that because this weekend, Friday, everything's really when the fair gets underway. But as far as the parade and the official, we are about 1 week out from that next Monday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that being said, now's the time to plot and plan and decide what you're going to be doing and what days you want to make sure you get out to this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair. When you get a chance today, log on to their website. It's www.enmsf.com. It's the initials for Eastern New Mexico State Fair. And there you can see the scheduled events. You can see all the entertainment, who's the different shows this year, the schedule for the carnival, of course, all the different livestock shows, the fair book, so you can know what shows are when, and if you got to get your entries in this week, because that'll all be happening here this week. Folks getting their entries turned in. If you need that kind of information, go to the website, enmsf.com, and all of it will be there too. And then I always like to tell another good tip. If you don't do it on social medias, your Facebook, and is it Instagram, the other one that you guys are pretty regular users? I always tell you to like and follow that, because anytime there's changes during the fair week, that's usually the first place it goes, and there's always weather or something happens, and like, all right, we're gonna have to move this to here, or anything, or just get reminders. Hey, don't forget today's Senior Day. I always encourage you to like and follow, if you don't already do so, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair on those social media platforms. That way, as updates happen, say if there is a weather delay for the carnival, I hope not, but the weather we can't control that one. So if there is those kind of notifications, that's usually the first place they go out. So that way you're kind of first to know on that kind of stuff. So just some kind of tips we always, when we get to this time of year at the fair, and just want to remind folks as you come out to Eastern New Mexico State Fair this week. So, but do you know some of the like schedule for Friday here, and some of like the Freeway Night and all that kind of stuff for rides and all that stuff?
For the rides of the actual fair itself, that I don't know.
Okay, well, go to the fair website and you can get all that stuff. Adrian's here to talk ranch rodeo. I just thought maybe he happened to know off the top of my head. I haven't done all the reading yet. But again, go to the fair website and you can do all that. And we'll talk more. We're actually going to have folks all week long come in on the show and talk about different aspects of the fair. We'll talk entertainment. We'll talk rides. We'll talk all that throughout the course of the week here. But one thing I want to put on your radars, and if you've never had an opportunity to be at one of these kinds of rodeos before, then I hope you make the Eastern New Mexico State Fair your first chance. On October 4th and 5th, that is that Friday and Saturday night?
Friday and Saturday night, yeah.
So it'll be 1 week from this Friday and Saturday, next Friday and Saturday, out at the Bob Crosby Show Arena there. Yes. That will be our Pecos Valley Stampede Ranch Rodeo. This is a ranch rodeo, which is a little bit different than your bull riding and what some people think of as this is a working man's rodeo. This is kind of the day job of cowboys, and it's very cool to watch, because some of the categories are a little different than bull riding and stuff like that. They'll bust out a pickup truck and start loading cattle, loading livestock onto the trailers, and wild cow milk. And there's some cool, but it's all events and things that simulate or emulate what cowboys do on the daily out at the ranch.
Yes, sir. So most of those guys, most of the stuff that we're going to do is things that have to be done every day on the ranch. Some of these guys are really good at what they do. So come on and watch.
If you've never seen it, it is. It was about 10 years ago I got to watch my first ranch rodeo, and I'm a city boy. I grew up in Maryland. I'm not, I've learned as I've been here 20 plus years, but I've never grew up on a ranch. So a lot of it's new to me. And so, but I watch bull ride and rodeos. I've been to a few, and then I was like, no, we go to a ranch rodeo. This one's different. And I went and I was like, wow. And yeah, it's so different, but it's so cool because it's a lot of team concept on this one, where, sometimes bull riding, it's individual efforts and things like this, where this is more team concept. These guys,
teamwork.
Yeah.
A lot of teamwork.
Yeah. And so it adds an element that's way different.
There's a lot of speed involved, and these guys are, the guys that are coming in for the ranch rodeo by itself. We up the fees just a little bit to make it, a lot more aggressive.
Okay.
And these guys are coming in for some money.
Excellent.
They're going to play for some money.
So you're going to get some serious players.
There's going to be some serious players this time. Yeah.
Now, do they get, obviously when in bull riding and stuff, there's the PBR, and then there's folks that are at that's what they do as their day job for a living here. When it comes to ranch rodeos, are these guys in a circuit where that's what they do is ranch rodeo, or by the day they're sitting at whatever ranch doing their day to day?
Right. No, there is a sanctioned rodeo.
Okay.
And there's different places around the state that hold them.
Okay.
And a few years ago, we actually used to have a sanctioned ranch rodeo here.
Okay.
The winners of that ranch rodeo got to a place to go to Amarillo.
Okay.
And to the main event down there. And as far as what we do here is a lot of these guys do end up going over.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun.
So they're kind of them, learning their chops, getting kind of like them in the minors, kind of getting their eyeballs, getting seen, and trying to get to the next level.
This is where these guys come in, and if they do win some of this, that helps them provide some of the funds to go up to the next level and whatnot.
So and when we get at this level, it's different than like say football or basketball where there's scouts like trying to recruit you per se. This is you're earning prize money and earning to basically earn to a point where you can buy into what it costs to get into these other levels because
it's pretty pricey. We're just enough on the low level that you don't have the main sponsors coming and picking your team up and going that direction.
Yeah, these guys don't have Wrangler written all over them and have them paying thousands of dollars.
Like it's just they have to come and show and mind you, a lot of these guys just to make it to the big show is awesome. Yeah, and then there has been talk about bringing back this ranch, the Sanctioned Ranch Rodeo to Roswell, but it takes a lot of funds.
To be honest, it takes funds, but it also takes support. And if you want to see more of this kind of stuff, how do you do that? Is standing room only at the Stampede Ranch Rodeo at the weekend.
Yes,
when there is standing room only and there's crowds there, and we get good crowds, but when you pack the rodeo ring every night of the rodeo, that sends a message saying rodeo is big and rodeo is in demand here in Chavez County.
Right.
And that's going to garner more interest, more support, more money.
Well, the cool thing about this ranch rodeo, as anything, a lot of the family members that are on the ranch rodeos can actually come compete in front of the public and show their stuff, as they say.
So you kind of see all levels. You see the guys that are trying to make it to a professional level, to the ones that, on Monday they're going to be out in the county doing the same thing on their dairies and ranches and
things. That's correct. That's correct. Now we do have the ranch bronc riding as well, and that one will pay out about $5,000. And thanks to all the sponsors, we just made that, and we sure do appreciate the sponsors. And if you ever see any of the people that are on the fence there with their banners, please tell them thank you. Support them, because it was hard. It's been hard the last couple of years trying to get funds for this thing, and we greatly appreciate everybody for helping us out.
And that's really what the Eastern New Mexico State Fair as a whole is about. It's celebrating the farming and ranching community. That's what this is about. And the rodeo is kind of the fun part, the competition. That's where
the
everything
end of the
from
week,
everything from bragging rights to just letting off steam and celebrating another amazing fair. And we would love for you to come out and have a good time. Of course, the rodeo, like the concerts and everything, it's included in with your paid admission into the Eastern Mexico State Fair. You go in, and it's all a part of that. You can now, granted. Remember, the Bob Crosby Arena is not really right next to all the rides and stuff. It's kind of at the more north end of the fairgrounds there. So you just follow the crowd. You get on over. They'll have an inch, but you can seamlessly get back into the fair part from the rodeo, back and forth. So once you're in. That way, if you do go directly to rodeo night and you're like, hey, let's go ride some rides afterwards. Come on over and get something.
And there's going to be 2 full days. We'll have 2 slacks. There's 21 ranch rodeo teams. So on Friday night, we'll have part of them come in and see who makes it to the Saturday night showground. Now on Saturday, we're just going to run the rodeo teams by themselves from 9 o'clock all the way till whenever they get done. And there's not much going on, but if you want to come see those guys get after it during the day on Saturday, you're more than welcome to come and watch. There's not much things happening, but there is a lot of good cowboys out there fighting for a lot of money, and they want to get into want to come back on Saturday night.
I imagine there's a bunch of young folks that probably go and can sit and study technique and study other ranch rodeo participants and that's how you get better is watching
some of the
others
older guys older folks that don't really want to come in and watch the hassle of the night crowd
Sure.
or whatnot.
They like to watch it in a more or less exciting environment.
You just go there and sit down and watch a good rodeo. Watch these good kids come in and do their stuff.
It's a lot of fun, and it'll be
fun.
like you said, Friday night there, and then of course Saturday night will be the big showdown there.
Saturday night will be a great show, yeah.
And but like you said, you want to see it Friday night to see them go through and see who gets on, and then you're like, oh, that boy, because that'll be you'll be watching that team's they're going to be tough to beat tomorrow night. You can kind of see because you'll go through and you'll see it's like, oop, I'm sure we're going to see them tomorrow night. Yeah, we're going to see them tomorrow night.
Great horses.
Yeah. And here's the thing is it's really easy to pick up as you're watching it, and I'm sure it's a lifetime to master the skills of which these cowboys are doing. But as far as you not knowing anything about it and sitting and spectating and understanding what's going on, it's very easy to do. You can really have very little knowledge of the sport and come and sit down, talk to a few people, and watch, and you're going to be pretty well versed and into it, excited. That's the part that's cool about it is you're like, yeah, I barely ride a horse, but man, I could sit here and watch this all day. It's just seeing these amazing people do what they do. It's really cool.
I have a kid in college. I have a couple of kids in college, and one of them has picked up the rodeo stuff some, and they have a team this year, so it's going to be pretty nice to see. And it's a young lady, so we're going to see her come in and compete with all the guys out there.
Generally speaking, what's about the youngest some of these competitors start competing at ranch rodeo? I mean, is it teenage level?
First year we had Steve McCutcheon from Carlsbad, him and his two boys, and I believe the boys were 9 and 10.
Okay, so some even before 10.
Yeah,
they're old enough to walk around and handle a rope.
To handle the rope, they come. And they did very good. They actually, because if it wasn't for those two kids, they actually came in back to the short go on Saturday, which was amazing to see that.
And and to me, that's the beauty of the entire fair is seeing those kids and seeing whether it's in the rodeo ring or in the livestock show ring. Seeing these, and I do tell this story every fair year, and I'm going to tell it again. One of my favorite things is going in that livestock show ring and watching like heifer shows or any of the big animals. And you get these kids that are 9, 10 years old and some of them barely 3 feet tall. And they are literally manhandling an 800-pound animal.
And it's a lot of work. Those guys, they don't do this one day to the next.
Yeah.
They've been working on this for years, and especially those kids have been working with their livestock cattle since the beginning of the year, and then working with their ag teachers and ag agents throughout the year to be where they're at.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you see that on the ranch rodeo, in the rodeo ring too. You see that. Yes, you're going to see guys that they're ready to take it to that next level, but you're going to see people that for the very first time are going to be in a rodeo ring doing a ranch rodeo.
Throughout the year, we'll have these young kids come up and they'll ask me, Adrian, are you going to do the ranch rodeo again? I said, yes, sir, I sure will. Okay, I'll let my dad know so we can put us in.
Well, that's just it. It's fun.
Don't shy us away from it. No, come on in.
It's a family tradition in Southeast New Mexico.
Yeah. So. And it's always great to watch the families in the stands watching their great grandkids or grandkids out there competing, and it's a lot of fun.
It is so much fun to watch because you get to see you see teamwork in action. You just see the greatest in humanity out there because these kids and adults and everyone else that are working and trying to, whether they're trying to get to that next level or just show their family they can do this stuff. You get to see those humanity moments, the moments, and even the moments where they don't succeed, and you see the others pick them up and carry and rally them, and it's just an amazing thing to see. Is seeing these
for them
kids.
To be around these great horsemen guys out there, they pick up a lot, and we got to continue this this program. It's a lot of fun.
Well, and stuff like this is how we keep the farming and ranching industry going. And I say this, and the fair is here to celebrate the farming and ranching industry and all that we do, and very much Southeast New Mexico is very much in the fabric of the farming and ranching community. But here's the thing: globally, we have less people in the farming and ranching community, more people on the earth. We have a demand that is rising and a supply that is decreasing. It doesn't take a mass scholar to figure out we've got to get creative in the farming and ranching industry. And these kids that you're going to be seeing doing this trailer load, and this is going to be the generation of kids that are going to have to be dealing with these issues involved.
Going to be our cow-calf producers for the state.
So all the stuff we're doing this weekend is strengthening and supporting and giving the next generation the tools to handle the problems we're facing now and to deal with them in their way.
Right.
Yep. That's exactly what we're doing.
And some of these teams that are coming, they're coming from Tucumcari, they're coming from Klein's Corners, they're coming from Clovis, they're coming from Eunice, Jow, Las Cruces. Of course, there's a few from here.
That's the thing,
it's the whole entire state of these guys
Eastern New Mexico
in.
State Fair is a bit misleading because we really do have competitors from all over the state.
Yeah.
You know, and that's true in everything, not just the ranch rodeo, but when you go see the livestock shows or the 4-H shows or the home ec shows and all that kind of stuff, you're going to see kids from all over the state competing, and adults from all over the state competing. So technically Eastern New Mexico State Fair, but it's really New Mexico State Fair too.
That's correct. That is correct.
And now, this week, I think we're competing directly with Balloon Fiesta this year. I think I want to say usually there's a week in between them.
I believe it's going to be.
I think they're the same week this year.
Yes, that's right.
I believe they're around the same week this year, or towards same week. Yeah. So maybe that'll. I don't know. I don't think that'll impact one or the other.
I don't think it'll impact our state down here.
But if you just have to plot and plan accordingly. If you do both each year, you might have to.
There's a lot of people that were at the state fair in Albuquerque, and the hustle and bustle. I think they're probably really glad to come down where it's nice and calm and
it was pretty busy this year's fair. I saw a couple days on the news and on TV, and they were going here. But if you do have where you have to go both, do our fair stuff during the weekends. Save Balloon Fiesta during the week because the weekends are nuts out there. So if you go like on a Tuesday, and that way you can have the weekend for stuff down here.
Right.
There you go. Plot and plan. Less headache. But again, anything fair related, if it's about the ranch rodeo or about any of the livestock shows or about entertainment or anything of that related, your best resource for everything is the Eastern New Mexico State Fair's website. Again, that's www.enmsf.com. It's the initials for Eastern New Mexico State Fair, and then you'll see all the tabs. There's a schedule of events. You can see everything there. I do want to ask, as far as like participating in the ranch rodeo, is there still sign up times? And
it is all full.
It is all full.
The only thing that we will have a few entries or a few open spots for the Ranch Bronc rodeo.
Okay.
For the Ranch Bronc, anyways. And but there's a few for that, but everything else is completely full.
Is that sign up as you do it kind of thing?
No, it has to be signed up at least. You probably have probably by Friday.
Okay, so if you're interested in the Bronc ride,
Friday,
get on the stick today. But everything else is we've got our competitors. They're locked in.
They're locked in. All we got to do is rodeos are guys are ready to go. The waiting list was phenomenal. There was a lot of guys still coming in, and
I mean, it sucks that that they don't get to participate, but that's such a good thing for the sport when you have a waiting list for people trying to get in.
Especially for this part of the area, and to have that many people calling in wanting to enter is just phenomenal. It's a great deal that we've developed here.
It's great to see it because it makes you feel that 20 years from now, when maybe we're too old to be messing with stuff, the next generation's fully going and keeping it going.
Yeah, they're going to be fighting for almost $13,000 on the ranch rodeo stuff. So
good prize money out there.
All prize money is what they get.
So and deal. Anytime there's good prize money, not that it's always great action, but when the prize money's a little bit higher, they will stretch the neck a little, 1 inch longer,
a little
longer. Yeah.
The top teams might not make it into the short round because they were just killing it a little too fast.
dollars can mean a second can mean a big change in dollars.
Big change in dollars.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, I don't know if we're quite to the point where it's like we just got in the Olympics where people are like hundredths of a second, but it's pretty close.
Pretty close.
How quick
Sometimes
they
it can
get
pretty close. I mean, we will have a.
It's not photo finishes, but it's darn close. In seconds difference.
We will have a ranch, an open team roping on Saturday afternoon after the ranch rodeo, and we're only allowing a total of about 150 teams for that. So anybody's welcome to enter.
Okay.
And the short round will be in the Saturday night rodeo. So, like I said, if you guys want to come down, that one's still open.
Excellent.
Of course, yeah.
Good deal. I'm just was curious. Is the obviously rodeo nights, the rodeo ring's pretty busy, but during the week during the fair, is there always like some of these teams using the ring to just warm and train, or is it pretty quiet until?
It's pretty quiet. It's
okay.
Pretty quiet. Now I know the one of the cool things about bringing this rodeo back was the fair queens and the Chaves County queens. They actually get to come strut their stuff.
Okay, good.
And we didn't have that for a while, and so I believe the queen contest either Saturday or Sunday coming up is when they're going to do that.
So really, Friday and Saturday, you kind of want to be hanging out that rodeo ring on and off all week, all day during those two times.
Right.
Friday and Saturday.
Usually
here.
Friday, the rodeo will start at 6 o'clock, and then the next day it will start at 9 o'clock, and then Saturday it's an all-day event.
Okay.
It'll be from 9 o'clock till.
I was just wondering maybe if it was like a Tuesday and you just ate one too many funnel cakes and you decided to walk on over there and sit off your funnel cake, you might catch a couple teams just training or getting ready for the weekend.
No. There's a lot of these guys have to travel a long way, so it's hard for them to go and come back.
Well, like
and
we
then
said,
a lot of the guys,
they might still be working.
They're working.
Yeah, they showing up till Friday night.
They gotta go clean up their horse or go fix waters, and they're this time of the year is a weaning season for these guys, so they're preparing their cattle for that.
Gotcha. So they're pretty tight schedule.
So they're on a tight schedule right now. So a lot of these guys that are they're coming in pretty wore out, and things like that. Most of the time, you would say a rancher was be on horseback all the time, but no, they probably ride once or twice a week or so. But at this time of the year, they pretty much ride every day.
Good deal.
A lot of the guys, yeah.
Do they have like a laptop thing that they put right
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
But come see it. Come. We are 1 week away. Really this weekend the fair gets underway. Come out and be a part of the fair. And like we said, here on next Friday and Saturday night is the two big nights for Ranch Rodeo. Come on out. Night one's going to be full of the preliminary rounds and weeding down to the big showdown Saturday night.
Yeah.
But come on out and hang out all day make sure you're popping in and out. And like I said, checking out the different categories.
Support all the guys that support us. Anybody you see out there, a banner out there, support them big time. It's been tough. It's been really tough. So
absolutely,
we appreciate every penny that these guys donate to us. And
are any of the sheriff's posse or anything doing any fundraisers out there that we can promote or anything?
I don't know.
Okay, I didn't know if anybody's going to be doing special burgers or something rodeo night out there.
No,
and I know sometimes there's things like that.
Sometimes they do that.
But if you do see that stuff, support it because all of them are.
Down. Yep.
So if you see some cowboys burning burgers out there, go support them. Absolutely. Adrian, is there anything we wanted to cover? Anything we just spaced on or didn't get a chance to talk about?
I think everything's pretty good. Just come watch. Like I said, it doesn't cost anything to come in to watch the rodeo with admission to the fair.
You're already in there for free.
You're in there. You can walk in and out and see some of these guys. Yeah. Rain, snow, dry, anything, doesn't matter.
They're like the mailmen.
Will
they
be
keep going.
in there.
Yep.
Well, we will rodeo even if it's raining, and we did that the first year. We didn't matter. The boys, they didn't care.
That's life on the ranch.
Yeah,
the work's got to be done. The cows still need the tending to, whether it's snowing or raining or what it's doing out.
And rain around here is so greatly appreciated.
I'm about to say we get rain out here. It's a fun thing. It's like we're gonna go play in the rain.
Go play in the rain. We don't see it very often.
Absolutely. So hopefully, fair always seems to at least one day we get something. But I hope we get moisture, just not to a point where it messes up any rodeos, concerts, any special events or anything.
The rodeo will still go
It
on.
won't mess those
It
up.
won't
but
run up. So
I know
if
those concerts, they get a little more sensitive
if
on
they
that.
shut down that other stuff, just come on down.
There you go.
We'll
Well,
have something for you to do.
It's really weird. People don't like to play electric guitars in the rain. Just saying.
No.
I don't know why. But if you do, here's another tip. Like just to sustain you. If you're over there by the concert and all that stuff, go into the 4-H ice cream building, get you an ice cream cone, and that'll give you enough energy to go from there to the rodeo ring. And that ice cream cone should be empty about the time you get to the rodeo ring, and then you can go and sit down and get some eats right around that area too. Good deal. Agent, thanks as always. Appreciate the visit.
Thank you. Appreciate for letting me.
And we look forward to getting a bunch of fun rodeo action next week here. It's going to be a lot of good stuff. So thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
All right. It is 8:48. Let us shut our holes to pay. Actually, got to play some news, and then eventually I'll get to some commercials to pay for lunch. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico State Police reporting crime statistics from their patrols of the New Mexico State Fair this past week. 52 troopers were stationed throughout the fairgrounds during the 11-day event. Officials said they made 14 arrests by state police during the fair and took 8 crash reports. One of the arrests was from a physical fight, which resulted in non-life-threatening injuries to one person. The New Mexico State Fair reports just over 517,000 people attended the fairgrounds this year. The Carlsbad Rehab Center, known as Carlsbad Lifehouse, will get a $1 million boost. The money comes from the fiscal year 2024 Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies Appropriations Bill. A workshop for the Roswell mayor and city councilors to discuss how to proceed with a resolution to adjust water rates that went into effect in July is scheduled for this afternoon at the Roswell Convention Center, 912 North Main Street. A review of the water department's operations, finances, and other related matters is also expected. High school football action Friday. The Artesia Bulldogs defeated Gadsden 57-38. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Champaign County Sports Report. The Roswell Coyotes are now 3-1 on the season after winning on the road at Deming Friday night. A convincing victory for the Coyotes, 51-20. They went up 28-14 in the third quarter when Jacob Palomino broke loose for a 71-yard run. Meanwhile, Goddard loses at home against the tough Lovington squad, 46-6, and the Rockets are now 2-3. Dexter is now 5-0 after walloping Copray 51-0 on Friday night. NMMI after a 42-0 victory over Hatch Valley at Hatch behind Tegan Maloney's 115 yards rushing. The Colts are 3-1. And it's Gateway Christian falling to Mesilla Valley 50-48. Hagerman loses to Mescalero 44-8 in 8-man football. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished mixed Friday. The Dow closed in positive territory to end what was a winning week overall for the blue chip average. Comments Friday from Fed Governor Christopher Waller indicate he favored the 0.5 percentage point rate cut that was announced by the central bank Wednesday of last week. And Waller says that's because inflation data supports such a move and that price growth has slowed. He says oil prices slipped Friday. The price of gold rose. And looking at today's economic calendar, we can expect the September S&P Flash Services PMI and Manufacturing PMI. In company-specific news, Target welcoming a new chief financial officer this week. Former Pepsi Deputy Chief Financial Officer Jim Lee named to the role. Delta has suspended flights between New York's JFK Airport and Israel through the end of the year amid growing security concerns in the Middle East. FedEx cut its outlook for earnings, and the shipping behemoth sold off Friday. In sympathy, UPS finished lower as well. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 38 points Friday. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite closed in negative territory. And that's the Market Report. I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
We're all truly blessed to have a leader like President Trump.
These are the words of Goya President and CEO Bob Unanue. In his new book, Blessed, Donald J. Trump and the Spiritual War, Bob reveals how the word blessed stirred up hatred, division, the cancel culture, and a boycott of Goya foods, igniting a spiritual war for the soul of America. Others reveal in the book that God has placed his hand on President Trump, allowing him to courageously bring America back to strength, prosperity, and to God. Order your copy of Blessed on Amazon now.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure is parking over our area, and that'll hang around for a while. Low 80s on the afternoon high today. We should get some sunshine. A few clouds for the overnight hours with our low in the upper 60s. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting sunshine. We'll warm up a little bit. Afternoon high in the mid to upper 80s. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 80s on Wednesday, back to the upper 80s on Thursday, and sunny all week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online, affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical, clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Round up your family and friends and join the Artesia Arts Council Red Dirt Fun Run during the Red Dirt Black Gold Festival on Saturday, September 28th in downtown Artesia. The Western-inspired 5K run invites participants of all ages to dress in their finest cowboy and cowgirl attire. Whether you're trotting along with a stick pony or racing in a rodeo queen costume, a morning full of fun and music is guaranteed. A foam machine will be on site for pre- and post-run fun. Participants will get a free t-shirt and breakfast burrito from Lucky Duck Grill. For tickets, visit artesiaartscouncil.com or call 575-746-4212 for more information. The Red Dirt Fun Run, Saturday, September 28th, 8 to 10 a.m. in downtown Artesia. Paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
When you're healthy, you can do amazing things. We're all about that. Because if you don't have access to health insurance through your work, or you just lost Medicaid, Be Well can connect you to the right health plan for you, your family, and your budget. We want to make your life a little easier, worry-free, and healthier. Because your health is everything. Be strong, be adventurous, and be amazing. Be Well, New Mexico's health insurance marketplace. Learn more at BeWellNM.com.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
The Eastern New Mexico State Fair is coming September 30th through October 5th at the fairgrounds in Roswell. This year's entertainment lineup features something for everyone. Don't miss live entertainment, including Ron Diamond, the Hypnotist Magician, and the Rocket Man Valencia, the Human Cannonball, performing all week. Then on Thursday night, don't miss Britney's Rage and Twist on Taylor, a tribute to Taylor Swift. Friday night, it's the Justin Kemp Band and country legend Rick Trevino. And Saturday night, don't miss Tejano Night, featuring Los Concentrados del Norte, City Juarez, and Senora Escándalo. Best of all, parking and admission to the concerts is free with your paid admission to the fair. The Eastern New Mexico State Fair, September 30th through October 5th at the fairgrounds in Roswell, and paid for by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
October is National Co-op Month, and Central Valley Electric Cooperative is having a Member Appreciation Fall Festival on Wednesday, October 9th. Come join us in the CVE Jack Case Community Room anytime between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. There will be food, games, music, giveaways, door prizes, and more. You don't want to miss it. If you're a CVE member, stop by between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. October 9th and celebrate National Co-op Month with us. We hope to see you there.
What? My trade's gotta be worth more than this! Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas, don't get hit hard by low trade offers. Right now, the all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade. That means means you'll get top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR or no payments till 2025. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand financed on select models. No payments till 2025. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined.
It's almost time for the Eastern New Mexico State Fair in Roswell. HF Sinclair invites you to attend the fair for all the fun and excitement it brings. From the concerts and shows to the livestock shows and 4-H sale to the food and model trains. The Pecos Valley Model Railroad giant HO scale train layout has been in operation at the fair since 1983. The train layout is inside the exhibit building in the fair, and trains are operating every day. HF Sinclair is a proud supporter of the Pecos Valley Model Railroad and hopes to see you at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair, September 30th through October 5th.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, for over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
You know, it's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But you know, it's really a gift that we give each other. You know, the Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Are you ready to succeed? Earn your FFA certification through ENMU Roswell's Aviation Maintenance Technology Program. ENMU Roswell has the only FFA Part 147 airframe and power plant school in Southeast New Mexico. Receive commercial and general aviation training, hands-on training with operation aircraft, Boeing commercial experience, advanced composite repair training, and more. And ENMU Roswell offers in-state tuition for veterans too. Learn more about this exciting program on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The man accused in Donald Trump's second assassination attempt allegedly did have plans to kill the former president.
According to new details released by the Justice Department, Ryan Routh left behind a note saying that he intended to kill the former president and maintained in his car a handwritten list of dates and venues where Trump was to appear. Prosecutors say the note, addressed Dear World, was placed in a box that was then dropped at the home of an unidentified person who contacted law enforcement officials after last Sunday's arrest in Florida. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Israel has warned residents in southern Lebanon to stay away from sites where Hezbollah stores weapons as the Israelis strike terrorist targets in Lebanon. The airstrikes come after the Israelis say Hezbollah fired at least 150 rockets into northern Israel over the weekend. The manhunt goes on in Alabama following a deadly attack over the weekend.
Police in Birmingham say they've made no arrests following the weekend shooting in the popular 5 Points South Entertainment District of the city. At a news conference Sunday carried by WBMA, Mayor Randall Woodfin asked for help from anyone who may have information related to the whereabouts of the shooters.
The priority is to get these shooters, find these shooters and get them off our streets. That will require the assistance of community members.
Police say they believe one of the victims who was killed was the target and that it possibly was a murder for hire. They say a vehicle pulled up to a popular lounge, multiple people got out, began shooting, and then fled the scene. I'm Donna Warder.
Just over 40 days to Election Day. Today, former President Trump campaigning in the battleground state of Pennsylvania. Kamala Harris collected $26 million at a New York fundraiser yesterday. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 51 points, NASDAQ ahead 46. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
China says Taiwan-based hackers have been more active lately.
A group known as Anonymous 64 has been accused of launching cyber attacks on mainland China, featuring messages denigrating the Communist Party and its system of governance. According to China's National Security Ministry, this group is a branch of Taiwan's military, but officials there have denied this. An account claiming to be run by Anonymous 64 on the social media site X features what it says are screenshots of videos planted inside China depicting the country's leader Xi Jinping as an emperor. Though China's security officials have warned internet users to report such content, they've also said that the attacks have not been very successful to this point.
The BBC's Stephen McDonald. A Russian space capsule is undocked from the International Space Station to take 3 astronauts back to Earth, 2 of them completing a record-long stay on board the orbiting lab. Townhall.com. Encouraging progress for one member of Britain's royal family temporarily sidelined by a serious health challenge.
Kate, the Princess of Wales, has made her first public appearance since she announced that she had completed chemotherapy and would return to some public duties. Kate and her husband, Prince William, were seen attending church with King Charles III and Queen Camilla near their Royal Balmoral estate in Scotland. Kate announced on September the 9th that she had completed treatment 6 months after revealing she had an undisclosed type of cancer. Her announcement came 6 weeks after Buckingham Palace announced that the King was being treated for cancer. Karen Shabazz, London.
Tropical Storm John has formed in the eastern Pacific and could bring flooding rains to southern Mexico later in the week. The National Hurricane Center in Miami says that while John is just about stationary, it is likely to move closer to the southern Mexico coast tomorrow and on Wednesday. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracing the Airnos
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday.
Happy.
Hope you're having a good one.
It's weird, and I don't know if it's the cool, the crisp in the air, or the sickness that's in the air.
In the air.
But I just had a serious hankering for some soup.
Yeah.
I went on a soup run. I got some chicken noodle soup that I'm working at heating up right now.
That does.
It just feels like the right thing to do on a day like today.
Yeah. Definitely a green chili soup.
Mm-hmm. I've often said it's a cup of soup and half a sandwich kind of day.
Yeah.
You know.
Although, if someone came up here with a bowl of chicken and dumplings, that would be good. That would be pretty awesome.
Got to go in old fashioned with like the Bisquick drop biscuits.
Yeah. Like a soup, not
so controversially. I know because some people do the Bisquick drop biscuits and all that. My mama, and I love her for this. I've always loved the way she did this. She'd get a can of Grand's biscuits, and she'd tear up the Grand's biscuits. Some of them she'd leave pretty good chunks of in there, and that's what she would throw in as the dumplings.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, that was the best dumpling I ever had in my flippin' life. It's like layered and butter. It's so good.
Well, and for me, my mom made what she called chicken and dumplings.
Okay.
But it's nothing like the rest of the world calls chicken and dumplings. Like hers was not in a bowl.
Really?
Yeah, like I was a grown man before I had chicken and dumplings in a bowl like people eat.
Like people?
She would actually make chicken, bone-in chicken.
Right.
Usually it was leg quarters.
Okay.
And then she would make a dumpling out of Bisquick, and it would be a biscuit-like. Sure. But it wasn't like biscuit. Wasn't like your it was more like a teardrop looking piece of bread. And so she would make that with the chicken, and then she would make a cream gravy.
Okay.
That you would pour all over it, and then eat it knife and fork style.
Really?
And that was what she called chicken and dumplings.
And that works too because it's still good. You get all the consistent.
But it's not
parts
like
of it.
the bowl with the spoon,
right?
And so that's how I thought chicken and dumplings was until I literally met my wife and got married, and she made chicken and dumplings. Like this is not what I call chicken. This is excellent, but this is not what I know it as. So
the other thing is when you're shredding, if you're doing like the shredded chicken or chicken, chunks or whatever, check it before you throw it in the soup, because I can't tell you how many times I came up with like a
bone
piece, not even like a bone, but like a fragment of like inside of bone or like segment of bone.
I gotta be honest, that makes me happy because I'm like,
it feels more authentic. But at the same time, you run into nothing but that.
Like if you go to a restaurant, get that, you're like, oh dang, I'm happy.
But when you're going for speed, these things get in the way.
Yeah. You know what I used to have a problem with as a kid that I don't seem to have a problem? And I don't know if it's just because I eat it maybe less, but I don't know. It just seems like I had fish a lot when I was a kid, and I was always picking out the little bones.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I've done that in a long time.
Well, processing's gotten a lot better in the last 60 years.
Maybe that's what it is. But I just remember like every time I get fish and you have fish and you're always picking out little fish bones.
Yeah, I do remember like not necessarily in like fish fillets, but
even in fillets.
Really?
Yeah, I would get not like the breaded fillets.
See, that's what I'm thinking of. But
like a fish fillet that is not breaded. Probably fresh fish.
Right. Now, in that case, you do end up.
I grew up in a different place.
Again, in that situation, you got to be more careful for sure. But at the same time, it's authentic, so you feel more kind of like a part of it. And
maybe it's just because the way we do things. Of course, I grew up in my grandmother, and she made fish. Made fish. She didn't buy Gordon's Fisherman and make you fish at the store, and you make fish.
You get your panko breadcrumbs.
Yeah, and you do
bread
fish.
We bread our own around here.
Well, and this is growing up in the 70s and 80s, and quite frankly, most of what you find in a microwave wasn't available back then. There wasn't microwave food sections.
Yeah, that's true.
In the grocery store back then, you had frozen food, and usually it consists of bags of frozen vegetables, bags of frozen Ore-Ida French fries, or something like that. Those concentrate juices,
right?
And occasionally like a Stouffer's lasagna or something like that. But there was none of those microwave meals, the Marie Callender's or whatever you throw in for 5 minutes and have a dinner. That never existed back then. Hungry Man's were the closest thing, and those never worked in microwaves, if you remember back then. There was only oven.
That's very true. It is funny how certain like flavors and certain like cravings have worked their way in because of like dietary restrictions of other people. When my mom was pregnant with my brother, she had gestational diabetes. And so we had to kind of like change our entire diet. We ended up shopping at the store that used to be, before it was Whole Foods, was called Wild Oats.
Okay.
So we shopped at Wild Oats. And that's where I started developing like a love for tahini, tabbouleh, hummus, stuff like that. But also we would get the veggie lasagnas, the Stouffer's veggie lasagnas. Those are, I'm going to say right now, better than the meat and cheese ones. The veggie one is flat out better. It's so good.
I don't think that was the veggie one.
That was the go-to for our family for,
you know me and veggies. I mean, I like veggies, but if something's not meat based, I don't.
I know,
touch it.
but give it dude, give it a shot. It's legit.
I've had their chicken one. Like if you had their chicken lasagna, and it's okay.
Right.
Like I picture the vegetable and like that one without
everything with chicken as an alternative is okay. It's never, oh, this is great. It's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Chicken's a very like inert protein. It just sort of takes on the flavor of whatever you add it to.
Yeah. Well, and people add it like I'm gonna be honest. Like I did not know of such a thing as chicken spaghetti until I came out west. That's a Texas thing.
Yeah. No, that's
chicken and spaghetti together. That never happens. Our guests are here.
The answer is that question.
But you know what I mean? Like, and I like chicken spaghetti. Like, apparently that's the official food of funerals in Texas. Like, anytime I've been to a funeral in Texas, and I've been to a couple relatives by marriage, and every one of those funerals, there's at least 3 to 4 potluck versions of a chicken spaghetti that shows up there.
Yeah, it's more of a Southern style preparation.
That being said, I like it, and I'll eat it to a point. Like I've had it, and that was a kick where I was like, "This chicken's big," and then someone made me like a whole. And after about 2 servings, I'm like, "I'm chicken spaghetti down."
You know what I'm dying to try is Jollibee spaghetti.
What is that?
Jollibee is a restaurant. It was started, I think, in like Vietnam or Korea, and it became like a huge thing here in the States. It's now like a franchise restaurant, but it's like Thai style spaghetti. So what they do is their sauce is.
Wouldn't that be ramen?
No, it's actual spaghetti, but their sauce is generally sweeter. They say it's more of like a ketchup-y flavor sauce, and they put like pieces of hot dogs in it.
So it's like gourmet ghetto?
It's gourmet ghetto, exactly. But like it's a huge thing. Everybody says when you go to Jollibee, you have to have their spaghetti.
Is that a chain, I guess?
Yeah, they have. It's mostly like way out west. Like they have a lot in California, a few in Nevada.
Okay.
I've seen them around. I think there's like one in New Mexico. I think maybe in Albuquerque, but I've seen them around. But it's one of those things that's like on my food bucket list.
I'd try it. Sure.
I definitely want to.
I like pasta. Don't get me wrong. I'm a pasta.
Same thing with I have to go to Florida because the only McDonald's that still serves the McPasta is in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, the world's largest McDonald's.
Oh, by the way, because I woke up yesterday morning like I did, and I said, and I literally, it was one of those things. I woke up yesterday morning, and I was kind of groggy, and I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm watching, and Kim's not feeling good, and I'm like, they have bagel sandwiches at McDonald's.
It's a great day.
And I went, and I got, Kim, would you like one? I'm going to order one right now. But as I was going through the app, and this time I paid more attention. I didn't last time. I saw a bagel sandwich and just left.
Right.
You can get the whole steak thing and all of the McMuffin.
Oh, really?
The biscuit. You can get all of that on the McDonald's.
A steak, just a steak by itself biscuit? Oh,
yes, they have them. I saw it in the app.
Steak and cheese.
I got my bagel because that's what I do. And I had the McMuffin. I told you all about that when I went to on the cruise, and we stopped at McDonald's on the way back and had breakfast and they had steak, and I got a steak, egg, and cheese McMuffin, and it is delightful. It is so good.
It sounds fantastic.
It's amazing. But I got the bagels.
I think it's about to get on. I think it's about to be on.
Yeah.
If it weren't Soup Monday, it would be on right now.
Well, and I was a huge fan in high school when I used to sneak out for lunch. Because we used to get, don't do this at home, kids. We didn't have open campus lunch. We didn't. So we had to, and our lunch was like 25, 30 minutes. We had no time. And so we used to go, and there was a McDonald's up the street, but we ate breakfast at like 10 in the morning. So it was still breakfast time on the McDonald's. I still think they went to 11 back then, those days too.
Right.
And so, they used to have the steak biscuit for 99 cents. It's different than the steak biscuit it's a different steak than you get now. I think it was more like it wasn't quite breaded, but almost had a breaded like quality to it, if I remember right.
Okay.
It was more like a Salisbury steak.
I was going to say like a chop steak kind of.
But it had like a thin coating on it or something, if I remember right. But anyway, I remember getting that every day and loving it, the biscuit. So I do want to try 2024 version of that with this steak.
Oh, I'm very curious. Yeah, I think
our guests are here.
Yes,
and
I believe guests because Crystal Noble is watching via the chat.
Oh, so just John today.
I think it might just be John.
Good. All right. Well, John Noble.
It was a long beginning of the weekend for Crystal. She's understandably taking some time.
I get it. I'd be home too if I knew better.
Right.
So John's going to join us here, but before we do any of that, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure is parking over our area, and that'll hang around for a while. Low 80s on the afternoon high today. We should get some sunshine. A few clouds for the overnight hours with our low in the upper 60s. And then for tomorrow, we're expecting sunshine. We'll warm up a little bit. Afternoon high in the mid to upper 80s. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 80s on Wednesday, back to the upper 80s on Thursday, and sunny all week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 61 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 65%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. We are looking at sunny skies. Cool today, 83 the expected high. That's pretty nice. Winds will be out of the southeast, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 57 degrees. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, sunny. Highs near 90 tomorrow. Winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night with an overnight low of 60. Wednesday, sunny, 87 for a high. Thursday, sunny and 90 for a high. Friday, sunny and 88 for a high. And then this weekend, Saturday, sunny and 89. Sunny and 90 on Saturday or Sunday there. So pretty much upper 80s, 90 all week here. All right, 9:19, we're going to take a 2.5-minute break, and then John, unsupervised from Roswell Sea Company, going to join us here in just a few. Don't go away.
What? My trade's got to be worth more than this! Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas, don't get hit hard by low trade offers. Right now, the all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade. That means you'll get top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR or no payments till 2025. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand financed on select models. No payments till 2025. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined.
At Artesia General Hospital, we know it's early, but schedule your mammogram today and save. Call 855-RAD-EXAM and save 10% off mammograms scheduled through October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and get a refreshing drink discount from Kith & Kin in Artesia or Blue House in Carlsbad. We use leading-edge, FDA-approved Genius 3D mammography technology to deliver more accurate results faster and with more comfort. Women over 40 do not need a referral for yearly screenings. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Elephants use these skin folds on their bodies to crush mosquitoes. Mike Winters uses his to hide M&Ms. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, John Noble, all by himself
All by
today,
myself today.
from Roswell Seed Company. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Good morning. Anything's possible today.
That's right.
There we go. Unsupervised.
The cat's away, the mice will play.
That's
so
right,
to
yeah.
speak.
Burned
Of course,
down
she's like me, feeling a little under weather this morning.
Yeah,
so,
she's got this cold.
It's going around,
something.
apparently.
Yeah.
My wife had it. Matter of fact, that's what we rolled out right at the end there, because my wife was not feeling good. So,
Saturday?
So,
Yeah.
so as soon as Clay wrapped up, Kim and I kind of ducked out.
Out.
But
yeah.
it was a fun night, Friday night. And,
It was good. It was a really good turnout. Everything sold. Everything. All the silent auction stuff. We had a couple of people. One woman bought like five of the baskets.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, some Christmas. She got all her Christmas shopping
Evidently,
done.
yeah. That's what I was laughing. I was all like, yeah, she got done quick, you know.
Yeah.
And then, one of the paintings I ended up selling to a lady out in the parking lot after the venue. I was all like, man, I'm out here. Yeah,
It's a unique way to get a Greg Birch.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm out here selling a painting in the parking lot.
Deal. But money was raised for the Humane Society.
Yeah.
I think everyone had a good time. Hopefully, Liberty made some good money on eats and drinks. Looks like people were eating and drinking.
Yeah.
I had some nachos really good there.
Yeah, I had the nachos and stuff like that. I mean, really, really good food.
Food was great.
I've only been to Liberty one other time.
And this is the first time I've been since they've gone non-member.
Right.
And it's different because I think they do food in the, like they used to not have a kitchen in there, and so I think Pecos Flavors would do the food and they bring it over.
Oh, okay.
But now they've got a kitchen in there, and so now they can do the food right in house and everything.
The
else,
guy who's doing the cooking back there, he's pretty cool.
Yeah,
great
job.
I mean, Clay was the comedian. He's a vegetarian or vegan.
Yes.
And so they didn't have no vegan food. Like I was telling him, I'm all like, dude, you realize where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Roswell, New Mexico.
We put some on a green chili.
Yeah, he was all like, okay. And the chef, he ran out and made him, I think it was a carrot taco.
That's
with
what he
green
said.
Chili or something. Yeah. And he was all like, dude, he's like, that was amazing. He was like, I was all like, welcome to Roswell.
Right?
I mean, it's kind of like, what do you say to that?
We Mexican food, we just replaced the meat with the veggies,
Yeah.
I guess.
But he had a really good time. He thanked everybody and was just all like, hey, thanks.
It was great. It was funny. And and I think he was going to Midland or Odessa or something.
Yeah, he was going to Midland,
Yeah.
I think, to the VFW. I was all like, good luck. I was all like, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, you're going up there where, they say, you got a pretty mouth, boy, type of place to watch out,
I'll say there's not a lot of vegans hanging out at VFW
Yeah, I
halls.
don't think
Just to
so.
say.
Yeah. I bet you he's drinking a lot of water.
Just saying, not a lot of vegans in VFW halls.
Yeah. They'll probably be like, you want what? Well, you can go out there and graze with the cows if you want. Go out there and chew on that.
It's like we could pull the hot dog off if you want, just be cheese and bread.
Yeah.
No, it's vegan.
Yeah. Oh my God. Somebody told me a long time ago that vegan is Indian for bad hunter.
That's right. I've heard that similar too. That's an old Navajo word for bad hunter.
Bad hunter, yeah. Oh my gosh.
But,
funny.
But yeah, I'm glad that everyone. Thank you to everyone that came out and bid and had a good time. And this all the money generated is going to go back and help those animals back at the shelter.
In the shelter.
So it's a good
and they're kind of talking about maybe doing something else.
Okay.
With the Liberty. We were kind of just all laughing and joking around because after the show, everybody left. There was just a couple of us, and we were just kind of helping out.
Monday morning
stuff.
quarterback.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
And we were talking about like maybe a Humane Society karaoke night or some. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that actually goes on there, but I'm kind of out of touch with all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right, I'm the world's worst. I get in my truck, I
put my music on that's on my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't listen to local radio. So I don't hear any of that stuff really. So, and I was talking, I forgot what the lady's name is who takes care of all that. And she was just all like, yeah, because we were looking at the posters in there. It's like, holy cow, they got, oh wow, they got comedy nights. They got all this, they got all. And so I was telling her, I was all like, well, bring some flyers down to the shop. If you need to advertise, put it up in the window. We always helping out. And she's like, oh, I'll do that. So I'm like, okay, now at least I know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, now I know.
I know now.
I'll just look at my window and see what's on there.
I can read backwards really well. So hopefully we get some more stuff kind of going on about that. And getting more people involved from the community.
Absolutely.
And believe it or not, I mean, those prizes that she got, I mean, I can't say enough about Roswell local business. I mean, they completely stepped up.
A lot of people got prizes on Friday because there's so many donations and so many great things.
The big, Texas Roadhouse, they stepped up huge, but as far as like the local businesses, just blew it like out of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, Bullock's Jewelry, Martin's,
Wakefield.
Wakefield. They did a bunch
that
of
was
stuff.
One of our door prizes. I know they helped out.
Yeah.
I got an oil change coming.
You got an oil change coming. The guys down at Hangar 209, they stepped up. A lot of people just here, and we were thinking, because I was telling Crystal, I was like, well, you go down there, get what she just came into our store and was all like, we're going to do this, buy. It's like, yeah, whatever, get out of here.
Right. You're the husband. You just say yes.
Yeah. But like I told her, I said, times are tough. Don't be, you're not getting a car or something like that type of a deal. But, she goes walking into some of these places and they're just, here, just take this. And she's looking down there going, hey, that's pretty expensive. Yeah, go ahead, take it. It's for a local. Yeah, just take it. Yeah, we got you covered.
Well, and there are a certain sect of people, and I probably am one of those people, that they will give you the shirt off your back for animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And not that I dislike people. I just, like, in my mind, I'm like, well, people kind of put themselves in things and stuff, and I'm not saying it to help people, but I'm kind of like whereas animals, they're literally in these situations because some idiot did something stupid.
Right, exactly.
It's not their fault, and so I'm always like more willing to support that.
Well, and then too, there's such a fine line with that too. Look how many people take advantage, of a situation. Of people who are actually homeless and hungry, they're not getting that stuff because the people that they've talked to have been burned by somebody prior to that.
Absolutely.
It's kind of an unfair deal.
Absolutely.
At the store, we always try to help out teachers, and stuff like that. They're coming, hey, we're going to do the school projects. Like, hey, great, cool, we'll help you out completely. Generally, sometimes we give away seed, or we give them a huge discount because that's coming out of their pocket.
Sure. As a wife of a teacher, I know exactly. Yeah, we pay for that out of our own. Our own. I've bought many of folders and many of all that stuff.
Tote boxes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. And you just saw like, wow, so on that aspect, we kind of we ain't gonna help out no farmers because you guys got money. Shut up. But other than that, but with you look at different aspects of Roswell, but the business community, it doesn't matter kind of what aspect it is. It's all very, very tight knit, but it's not shown. Not until you do something like this that you realize, holy crap, these people are really opening. They're coming through. It's not like. I can't say any businesses. It wasn't a local business. It was a big box business. But, they went over and took something off the clearance aisle. Here you go. And I'm like, okay, I understand. They still gave something. Don't get me wrong.
But it's not as impactful on their bottom line as it is when mom and pop business donates a couple $100 worth of something.
When you got jewelry store that's donating $450 necklace set, versus, a $2.98, lawn ornament. Ooh. Don't get me wrong, the lady liked it, and I'm like, we could have went to, whatever. I didn't say nothing, But the turnout, Greg, the 2 paintings that he did.
He donated 2 of his paintings. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a lot of money out of his pocket, and that was his time, and he just did it.
Yeah.
He was only supposed to do 1, but he was like,
he's
I was
an
bored,
overachiever.
so I did 2, and I'm like. You got bored, so you painted another painting?
I hope people got to meet Greg when he was out Friday night out at the event there. So
I don't know if he met He might have met him. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was there. I remember.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah,
because and everything.
He come walking by.
He was sitting at the table next to us.
Yeah.
At the show there. So.
I mean, really cool guy. God, he's so, just what he does is just amazing. And he just kind of, and I'm like, God, I wish I had some of that kind of time, where I could come up with something cool. My time is like, how do I get out of trouble?
Artist brains work different than our brains.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
But then again, I'm sure there's like the artist brain, there's things that they wish they could do that people that like us that don't necessarily have that creative side that can kind of, or that gene, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always, we all just got a different deck of cards, man.
Yeah,
It's all
that's
a
it.
different hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Mine's more kind of like on Uno versus a real deck of cards. So.
Well, and it's life, if you don't get exposed to it and you get to, but then again, if you spend time your whole life on a farm and a ranch or military or, you know what I mean? It's always about getting the mission or the job done.
Yeah.
And things that don't seem part of that seem less important.
Right.
And
that's a good way to put it.
And artists and stuff remind us that we're wrong on that.
Yeah. Yeah. They encapsulate kind of everything, and they can put it to canvas with either pencil, pen, paint, or whatever, sculpturing and stuff. And you're just kind of looking at it going, whoa, how did you, where do you come up with this stuff? And it's like, a picture of it came into my head. And I'm like, you can remember stuff I can have a picture in my head. It's gone in like 2.3 seconds. The squirrel moments run strong with me.
Sure.
So yeah.
But then again, it's just different. Like I imagine if you get into something with the seeds or whatever, and then next thing you know, we're looking at everyone like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It's just what you're into.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that being said, and this is something, the point you're talking about, bomb and pop and business and get involved. And this is something that, since we're talking Roswell Seed here, is really Roswell Seed. Yes, the experience and the trial and error and all the testing and providing good customer support for 100 plus years is the reason why they've been around for 100 plus years. But it's also that other side in which you're talking about. Donating for the kids' classroom, supporting the soccer team, supporting the cheerleader, supporting the whatever it is. Roswell Seed has always been in the fabric of the community in one shape or form. Jim Gill has always been involved in kids and schools and pets, and he always had. Now he probably had a few tentpole charities that were his more favorites, but Roswell Seed has been a part of the community pretty much since day one. It opened its doors and started selling seed to customers.
And I didn't know this, but it came out a few years ago. This dates way, 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 way back. So when the store that we're in was built, it was built in 1911.
Mm-hmm.
So that we were the farthest thing south, and they told Jim's grandfather, "You'll never make it. It's too far
south.
Too far south." And so he did it. He took a gamble and he did it anyways. So, and of course, it paid off.
And now it's downtown.
But, now it's right in the middle of town. But everything that was south of us, there was a black work camp.
Okay.
There was a Chinese work camp, and then back off to the east somewhere was the saloon, because it couldn't be in town, because that's harboring of bad things and stuff like that. Jim's grandfather, when water became available, they put in water lines and stuff like that. He actually had a spigot on the outside of the building. And everybody was all like, what'd you put that for? He actually put the spigot in for the camps, for them to be able to walk to get water versus going 4 or 5 blocks in to get water.
Just
and
being
stuff
neighborly.
Like that. Yeah, just something. I mean, nothing to jump up and down about. It's just put a water spigot in. It's no big deal. I will cover it. And then when electricity, believe it or not, when electricity came into Roswell, he had lights installed on the south side of the building. And that was for the school kids to be able to do their homework at night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And, because people are like, what are you lighting up the outside of the building for? This is stupid. And, I just want to. That was it. Yeah, I just want to.
Sure.
So, I mean, even back then, we were given to the community without really
announcing
it.
Just doing things to make life a little easier at that end of town.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was just something that, Jim's grandfather, I guess he had the farm mentality. He had the town mentality. Maybe he had a little bit of the artistic mentality, because he saw everything and figured out real quick what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. Nowadays we got to look on a phone. I mean, you got your phone now. I mean, it's like, hey, Google, what am I doing today? Ding. Oh, well, you're doing this and this. I can't have, my phone just went off. I can't do anything like that. I mean, because, it'd probably come back and be like, you're doomed. If I try to put everything in what I do in a day, it never happens.
You kind of wish times were simpler like that.
Yeah, just super. Nowadays, I just shoot from the hip and pray.
Right.
It's just kind of like,
It's like, I got a series of things done today. How many did I not get done? We'll worry about it tomorrow.
Basically.
Yeah. But again, it gets back to that point. So, and now that we're getting into the fall here and everything else, kind of if you're wanting to talk about fertilizing and protecting and winterizing your lawns and all that, Roswell Seed, that's what they do. And they go, and we've talked about this every time John's been in, they, because of 100+ years of serving Southeast Mexico, but Roswell, you guys are pretty well versed in how Roswell's climate is, how Roswell's soil is. So, when you do go into Roswell Seed and you ask for questions about maybe you're winterizing your lawn or something, they're going to ask you, like, where do you live? And you'll be like, in Roswell. It's like, no, what part of Roswell?
Right, yeah.
And there's a reason why they're asking you that question, because if you're on the south end, they might tell you a different answer than if you live on the north end.
Yeah. And it was just, this year has been kind of, I don't know, it's been unique.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a lot of weird things happen this year. People can say, oh, climate change. Oh, no, because it happened back in the 20s. This other thing that grubs, generally grubs only come up like in the early summer, and they come up, they're out of the ground. They either turn into moths or like June bugs, and then they're gone. This year, we had multiple customers come in saying they were having a second hatching of grubs.
Ooh.
It's like, what?
Soil's just right. The climate was right for it.
Yeah. And so we were kind of like, okay, it's got to be the humidity. That's what I'm kind of basing this stuff on, is the humidity. We've been way more humid than we've ever kind of been. So I thought, and then somebody informed me, no, it was, if you look back into like the 20s or something like that, they recorded record humidity days in that during that time. So it's coming back around. It's not something that we need to worry about. No, this happened 60 years ago, and funguses that we have in the grass. Now, if you do have that, you are going to have to treat it real early spring, probably like late winter, early spring type of deal. You'll have to treat it, unfortunately, because we don't know what's going to happen next summer.
That's if there's a fungus among us.
Yeah, boy, and that was, luckily we have a very good county extension agent. His name is Drew Garnett. Mm-hmm. Really nice guy.
He's on the show every month.
Yeah, cool guy. And I call him up. He's like, hey, Drew, it's John. Hey, John. I was like, stop acting so nice over the phone. I know you're dreading this call. He just laughs, And
he's just nice all the time.
Yeah, he just is. And I always give him a hard time about it. But, he helped us pin down, the funguses and stuff like that. And we started getting it out to all of our customers, all of our lawn care guys, trying to tell them, hey, don't, because you can take this from yard to yard to yard to yard. And, we appreciate the business, but that's not how we want business.
Sure.
It's like,
hey, infect your neighbors.
Yeah.
Come get a shot.
Go,
yeah.
So, but yeah, a couple of little spikes this summer. And we got it kind of under control. We hope, we think. Who knows what's going to bring it,
And I'm sure over the years, there's always been anomaly years of some weird thing. Yeah. This year, because we got a little bit more humidity and moisture this year, which impacted the soil a little differently. And we had a second grub season because of it here. But there's going to be years where maybe it's dry and it's going to create its own unique problems.
Yeah.
And so that's just what happens.
And the biggest problem that we have is we no longer have Jim Gill, who... Oh, yeah, I remember back in 43, it's like, okay, so now we got to rely on the grandchildren of these people that come in and say, well, my grandpa used to talk about in like 31 when blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, really? Cool. Okay, now that makes kind of more, now we have to go through that kind of, where before I could just open up the office, hey, Dad, what? So, oh, yeah, back in 45, this happened and blah, blah, blah. And, put this on it, make sure you wear the sock bigger on the left side than on the right, and go counterclockwise, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't have that anymore.
Sure.
So now I rely more on, the customer tales.
Sure.
Hey, my grandpa talked about this. Like, okay, let's, you got my interest. Let's talk. I need to know this because this is what we're dealing with now, type of deal. So
Absolutely.
It plays off,
Absolutely. But that's, yes, we've lost Jim Gill, and yes, there was a vast amount of knowledge that went with him, but he did that's still there. And You know what I mean? And yes, so it's not on John's brain right at the tip like it was with Jim, but he can do his research, and there's archives of history of things.
Give me a little bit. I mean, I got 2 brain cells that fight constantly, so that's it.
It's just 100. When you got 100+ years of data, you can't remember it all at once.
Oh no, so, and that's the thing. I mean, just with Jim and Eric Glover, who used to work with us, he did 43 years with the company, and between them, that was like 98 years of experience, just between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
And they left. Eric retired and then Dad passed. And now that leaves me, and I'm just like, I got 12 years. That's it. That's all I can say, And so, give me a little bit. I mean, I'm trying, when I have to research some of this stuff, I got to go into books. I hate reading. I hate reading with a passion. We were laughing the other day because I was like, Roswell's got a book club, right? And one of the guys was all like, yeah, I think so. Why? I said, we're going to take these old books, and I'm just going to start handing them out to some of these people and say, read this, and then come talk to me.
Give me the book report. Yeah.
Here
give
you
me
go.
A Cliff Notes version of this book, please.
And everybody was kind of laughing, and then one of the guys was like, that might actually work, right? And I'm like, I don't, I mean.
I feel like that's like, you remember the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield, where he's got Kurt Vonnegut writing his paper on Kurt Vonnegut?
Then he got it all wrong. Whoever wrote this is an idiot. Yeah. But I mean, that's, and Jim was a reader. He would read everything.
Sure.
If it doesn't have pictures on it, that's gone. I'm sorry. I'm not looking at it. So we might actually kind of do that because we have books that date way back. And when I say way back, I'm not talking about like the 19 or 1800s. I'm talking like when the books really started to get involved with agriculture and stuff like that. So that's going to be 70s, early, middle to late 70s is when these books really started to come into play. And we have those. And it's like, I look at it going, I don't want to. I really don't want to. I mean, I had to look through a deal on alfalfa just in our area. The book was, I think, 600 and something pages. Oof. And it's just data sheets. Basically, it tells you what the name of the alfalfa is, when it was introduced.
So it's not a story or anything.
Yeah, no, it's just all pure data.
It's just numbers and figures.
And you're just looking at this, and then you go to like page 10, and it's page 1, but the rest of the data of, heat, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay. And then you go to page 30, and it's back to page 1 and 10, and it gives you so it's like, oh my gosh, there's only like 70 or 80 seeds on this thing, but it's 600 pages of it, and every like 30 pages, it's from the 30 pages prior. That's where it starts, and you're just looking at it going, oh my god.
My head hurts just listening to that.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there looking at that, and like I said, I have squirrel moments. Although I'm a Marine, I don't, just show me where to go and I'll destroy it. Right. Easy.
Marines, you can point in the direction, go do that, and they'll do it.
Point and grunt. That's it. Right. That's why they call us grunts. But then you start looking through this, and I'm like, oh my god. And then I start thinking back, and it's like, Dad read this whole book, this whole thing. He read it. He read it from front to back like a novel, and I'm like, no. Of
course, he has degrees in it too, so that helps.
It helps quite a bit, So possibly book club coming up with Roswell Seed Company.
That's right. Hey, La Tutila, would you like some reading material? John can drop off for you guys to do a summation on for you.
Yeah. Give me a quick synopsis on it. Hey, this is what happened. Perfect. Love it. Thank you. It's like, oh yeah. Because he could go. I mean, he would remember those things. He'd go to that book, open it up, flip it up. Yeah. That's the weed right there. And I'm looking, going, where the hell did you find that? I don't even know where that was even at.
Yeah. Of course, you've probably seen all these things. And then, it's probably a lot easier when you've seen it in person and then reference the book later.
Right.
Then, rather than you're not familiar with it in a book and then you see it later. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm lost either way because I'm looking at it going, pretty flowers of the Southwest. Oh, okay. And you start looking at it and it's like, well, there's no pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so old that the pictures are drawn in. That doesn't even have a picture. I'm like, I don't want to read that. It doesn't have a cool picture.
Some artist was out in the middle of a field.
So started
sketching this flower.
Stuff. It's like, we probably got pictures in that book from like, Peter Hurt or something. The daisy flower. It's like, woo.
It's kind of like, I keep doing movie references here, but do you remember the movie Master and Commander? That was it starred, what's his name from Gladiator?
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, Russell Crowe. and he was the commander of a British. It was a warship, and they were during war and all that. But his buddy, who was a surgeon, was on the boat, and they were down by the Galapagos Islands, part of the war there, and so he's a scientist guy, and part of it. So Benny, anyway, there's a scene in the movie where he ends up at the Galapagos Islands, and he's sitting there, and the one guy's literally doing what you're just talking about. He's like taking the animals and the lizards and drawing sketches and doing just like, and that's what, when you talked about it, that's what I think of that scene from that movie. But yeah, it's a good Navy movie if you like Master and Commander.
Master and Commander.
It was old like British, Revolutionary War era type ships and stuff.
But I mean that's where all this data started and it comes from, and now it's just being built. Well, I can get on my phone and look at it. Sure, if you don't know the name of it, I mean, you could take a picture of it now, but it gives you, like, we have people that come in, and this weed, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's bindweed. Well, it doesn't say that it's it's bindweed. I know what bindweed looks like. Well, it doesn't say bindweed. It says, southeastern cockatiel, so it's bindweed.
Right.
So and we get that too with our people that have been here forever. They'll come in and they'll ask for like seeds, and you're just sitting there looking at them going, huh? And they're all like, you got it. It's right there. And you look down and it's like, well, it's a purple top turnip. What did you call it? It's like,
is that the Latin name?
Yeah.
What is that?
There's just, that's what they
religious Nigeria stuff. Those stuff.
Yeah. It is like, that's just what they were told when they were kids.
You want a daisy.
Yeah. It's like, because I forgot what it is. Something is creeping blue feline or something. It's a creeping blue feline. I'm like, what the hell is a creeping blue feline? It's blue morning glory.
Okay.
Blue. But he knows it as a, and I'm like,
well, it's kind of like when you were kids and you had that weed that had the yellow and it made the we call them buttercup flowers. And I don't know what they're actually called. We just call them buttercup flowers.
Yeah.
But there's an actual name for those somewhere.
Yeah, it's probably like 36 letters long on it.
I think it's a weed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we were chewing on weeds as kids, Can't get away with that no more, So, I mean, it's, we try to do, like I said, we lost a huge portion of our history, and life is history. I mean, you need to know history so you don't make the same mistake like what we're making right now on the world. But
at the same time, you're also gaining your own experience.
Yeah, and we're turning it our way. I mean, we have to, because I'm not Jim Gill, and I never will be.
And to be honest, there was a time where Jim Gill was probably sputtering and stuttering through this stuff too, and like, whoa, this is over my head too.
Yeah.
But after a few years, you tend to learn a thing or two.
Yeah. It's just sometimes you're just looking at it going, I should have listened on that day.
Yeah.
I knew
but
that,
I'm sure, it's always that begat thing,
Yeah.
and there was somebody in Jim's life that probably, nurtured him.
His dad.
Yeah.
I mean, his dad was just like a genius.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually built one of the seed cleaning machines in the back.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't use it very much, but if we have to fine tune something, we put it on that machine and it works amazing. And you're just sitting there going, where the hell did he get the idea for this?
Is it trademarked?
No, it's actually a seed cleaning machine, but he revamped it to make it work for our needs type of deal.
So he jerry-rigged it to make it more efficient.
Yeah.
He Tim the tool man tailored it up.
Yeah. Put the Binford 5000 on it, And so, I mean, we don't run it very, very often anymore, but you just sitting there looking at it going, the thought process that went into this and how he understands, because, I mean, he's using gravity, he's using air, and he's using shake and all this other stuff. And you're like, how do you come up with that? I mean, that's just from, dealing with things. Oh,
Sure.
Try this, or try that. I mean, they didn't have machines back in the day. I mean, they had a screen and two guys, sifting,
Sure.
stuff like that.
Well,
And
after
you're like,
many years of that, you figure out a better way to
do
make
it.
the new mousetrap. There it is. It's like, this sucks. Let's find a better way. First, you're like, let's pay a guy to do it, and it's like, I'm tired of paying this guy. Let's create a machine.
to do it. Yeah, simplification of things, but
yeah, just seeing the time, we probably should start wrapping this up. Kind of bringing it back to Roswell Cedar. That if you're looking for help, advice, this plant's not doing what I thought it was, or hey, I want to start planting I want pumpkins. When should I start planting them? All right, let's talk.
Too late.
But
anyways,
right. If you come in now, they're gonna say next year.
Yeah.
But
so right now, your grasses, everybody wants, you can plant your fescue or your ryegrasses right now. Garden people, any of your leafy stuff, lettuce, kale, cabbages and that kind of stuff. That's going in now. You should be putting your fertilizer down for your pecan trees right now. You can start fertilizing all your other trees before they go into dormancy as well.
Yeah, this is a time to kind of protect the roots, protect the soil, but while it goes dormant here for the winter, and keeping it nourished and kind of a blanket so it can keep the moisture in and all that.
Yeah, it gives them that nutrients and stuff.
So when it comes back in the spring, it's got a healthy base.
Yeah, honey. We're hoping to get out. I'm hoping to get out there sometime this week to start to get some honey.
Okay.
Let's see what else is coming. Pansies. Pansies are coming out here pretty soon. Probably in about another month. We'll have pansies out.
Okay.
Around November, we'll have our garlic in. People have been calling for garlic left and right. Need garlic. Yes, we know. Got garlic and stuff like that. So we're slowly getting everything in. Right now, we're trying to be able to bring stuff in not too early, but early enough. But then some of our areas, we have to coordinate with them because they get snowed in.
Sure.
So, yeah, it's like kind of like, hey, if you pull the trigger now or you ain't going to get it for a month and a half or 2 months,
And quite frankly, the weather has been a little, I mean, I'm sure trees and stuff are a little like,
yeah.
We start turning, oh, wait, no, it's 90 again. Hold on. Oh, but it's starting to get cold. Maybe we should start turning. No, it's 90 again.
I love it when, who was it? Robin Williams was saying that, weather by Sybil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is around here. It's like.
Although, and that's the weird part, because it's New Mexico, if you get high enough in the state, go up at a higher elevation, you're going to see colors already.
Yeah.
But not in lower elevations.
No.
Down in Roswell, not yet. We're about a month out. But if, I don't even know about Ruidoso, but if you get up at like Taos or if you get up around 12,000 feet, you're probably seeing color changes.
Color changes, yeah. Because they're already starting to drop down, and that's it.
So maybe up by Ski Apache, you might be seeing some.
Yeah. So we got our wheat in, a little bit of it in. A lot of that's all gone. I don't have any oats. I found some oats, but it's another one of those things. I got to bring a truck of it in, and I can't sell a truckload of oats, but we're trying to work something out to be able to get oats in and stuff. So we're working on big crops and stuff like that. I do have some new cover crop stuff for people like with small gardens. They just want to keep it airy and light. Come in, see me. I do have some cover crop that you could throw out. I was selling it up in Ruidoso to the people up there to keep their soil from moving and their houses moving.
Yeah, they've been dealing with a lot of burn scar stuff.
Yeah. So, but this stuff will work anywhere. And I've got a couple of people that they've planted it. They like it. So we brought some more of it in, help you guys out. Puts a lot of nitrogen back in the soil.
Yeah. And that's one thing you'll find at Roswell Seed is a lot of the products that, especially the ones you recommend when people come ask questions, are generally ones that you've had a lot of customer success with.
Yeah.
Things that they come in, they've tried it on their soil, they've tried it in their products, and they've had good success. And it all works here.
Yeah.
So that's the key.
Yeah.
And that's what, that's what I'm saying. Whenever it comes to your lawn, your garden, or any of that stuff, come talk to the local experts that know the climate, the soil. Roswell Seed. They got you covered. I get it. Big box stores are convenient and things when you want to get stuff. But if you're looking for information and making sure you get the proper product and not just what somebody says, the package says it'll work. Go to Roswell Seed. Go to Roswell Seed.
And don't call me from Home Depot. Don't do that crap. I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm looking at this bag right here at Home Depot. Oh, buy it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Why well, you guys have all the information. Yeah, come in and see us. Or they'll call, hey, does this stuff? I don't know. I don't sell that brand. Well, it's all the same, isn't it? No.
Yeah. It's like you work at Burger King. I don't call you from McDonald's saying, hey, is this as good as a Whopper?
Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
That's great. I never thought of that. Oh my gosh, yeah. Definitely. Easily.
Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But John, as always, appreciate it. Tell Crystal hope she gets to feeling better.
Yeah,
and,
I got to text her here in a little bit.
I'm sure you got a few fires to stomp out at the office.
Oh boy, do I.
Well, thank you, John, as always.
Guys. Bye now.
All right, 9:55. Let's have a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico State Police reporting crime statistics from their patrols of the New Mexico State Fair this past week. 52 troopers were stationed throughout the fairgrounds during the 11-day event. Officials said they made 14 arrests by state police during the fair and took 8 crash reports. One of the arrests was from a physical fight, which resulted in non-life-threatening injuries to one person. The New Mexico State Fair reports just over 517,000 people attended the fairgrounds this year. The Carlsbad Rehab Center, known as Carlsbad Lifehouse, will get a $1 million boost. The money comes from the fiscal year 2024 Labor, Health, and Human Services, Education, and Related Agencies Appropriations Bill. A workshop for the Roswell mayor and city councilors to discuss how to proceed with a resolution to adjust water rates that went into effect in July is scheduled for this afternoon at the Roswell Convention Center, 912 North Main Street. A review of the water department's operations, finances, and other related matters is also expected. High school football action Friday. The Artesia Bulldogs defeated Gadsden 57-38. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. A rally including 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter fell short as Dallas dug a big hole they couldn't pull themselves out of in yesterday's 28-25 home loss to Baltimore. Details after this.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport. Above, beyond. At McAllenAirport.com.
For the second straight week, the Cowboys were dominated at home, this time giving up 274 rushing yards to the Ravens in Dallas's 28-25 loss. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence couldn't mask his frustration, outlining what went wrong for a unit that allowed over 450 total yards, including 151 on the ground to Derrick Henry.
Having a game plan but not following the game plan. It's just once we get out of playing Little League football and get back to playing pro football, do what your coaches teach you.
Brandon Aubrey kicked a 65-yard field goal, the second longest in NFL history, and Dak ran for a score and threw touchdowns to Camonte Turpin and Jalen Tolbert in the fourth quarter, but it was way too little, way too late. With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales.
Are you looking for something fresh, or are you trying to find that confident smile you once had? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and I would like to invite you to our office to experience a new kind of dentistry. We have the most advanced technology and a highly trained team to provide you the best experience possible. Whether you're looking for a bright new smile or just want to make sure everything checks out for the best, call us today and set up your appointment for your next great experience.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is a proud supporter of the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. They salute the hardworking 4-H and FFA kids for striving to be the best every day. As farmers and ranchers themselves, the crew at Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply know the hard work that goes into making farming and agriculture what it is today. And from Everyone's a Winner program to actually investing in these future farmers and ranchers during the Junior Livestock Sale, Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is proud to support the Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply. Stop by today, 1105 East 2nd in Roswell.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
World leaders gathering in New York this week for the UN General Assembly. Julie Walker reports.
More than 140 world leaders will attend the United Nations General Assembly in New York this week, including President Biden, who speaks Tuesday along with Iran's new president. The leaders of Israel, Lebanon, and Ukraine speak later in the week. Russian President Putin is not attending, instead sending his foreign minister. Ahead of the start of the GA, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres says international challenges are moving faster than our ability to solve them. Wars around the world, especially in Gaza and Ukraine, and the growing possibility of a wider Mideast war are expected to dominate many of the speeches. Julie Walker, New York.
Also at townhall.com, a search is underway for the shooters who killed 4 people and injured 17 others in a weekend. Report any arrest as of early today. Officials offering rewards totaling $100,000 for information. Vice President Harris pushing for another debate, but former President Trump says no. White House correspondent Greg Clugston.
On Sunday, Harris urged Trump to accept a proposal to debate on CNN on October 23rd. She said that they owe it to the American people to meet once more before Election Day. But Trump is declining, citing the start of early voting in some states. He told a rally on Saturday that it's just too late to hold a debate 12 days before Election Day, which is November 5th. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Stocks continuing their winning ways from last week. The Dow up